How much are you going to make on that tour, boys? Is that getting you aroused? Oh, yes.
Just a couple of young lads humping each other.
Let's all just love each other.
That's it, bro.
It's Christmas.
That's it. Let's get
Why
this.
hold back? Helen's gone and heaven's here. There's nothing left for you to fear. Shake your ass, come over here. Now scream and let me. No, it's entertain you. I've got an outfit to surprise the lads with. I thought I'd dress up. So I'm just gonna have to put these on. I mean, it's a cheap, shitty Santa.
Is it? Did you knock Santa off the roof?
Merry Christmas, everyone! When I asked for a Santa suit, I said the 3XL, they were like, I will see what we can do. I think they could have done better.
Yeah.
To be honest, getting this belt on was a right show.
If you wear just the trousers, you might look like some sort of WWE character from the mid-90s.
I do feel like that though.
Yeah.
Porn or WWE.
Yeah.
Where's Will and Stephen?
Hey, Stephen, Will, look at this!
Merry Christmas! We would
Already.
have great as a team, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Huh?
You two would actually look great as a team.
I was going to do the whole podcast like this, but it's very porno, so I'm going to take it.
No, come on. All the porno-based podcasts seem to bang.
Welcome back to True Geordie podcast, Christmas Day episode. All the biggest cunts I could find on YouTube are here in one room together.
I could have been feeding them a drink. Cheers!
Chin. Oh, Brian, I didn't get you there. Come back. Thank you.
Cheers, Stephen.
Who's got a million subs? Cheers.
To all the million subscribers and the friends. Brilliant. Well done, lads.
Yeah,
thanks for coming.
Nice one. On that note, me and Alex were talking last night, right? Hitting 1 million subscribers. Sorry about this, Stephen. The most anticlimactic thing you can just ever. Yeah. You just do it and you're like, number.
It was a bit like that, especially for you, because I remember you grinded your bollocks off, not literally, but almost, to get there. You were working like a Japanese prisoner of war, but a happy one, right?
It's not even been a minute. Yeah, it's not even been a minute.
No, but you were though. You agony, wasn't it?
And then you just like, oh.
You had the charisma of one as well. Drink up.
This is going to be, if you're expecting a good podcast, you're in for a shit show.
We're just going to drop off one by one.
Yeah.
I actually watched yours hit the million.
I know, I got the tweet.
Unfortunately, so I had it in my head that I was going to be the million, so I was like,
so you weren't subscribed?
No.
He unsubscribed.
Shit, he's talking about you.
He still isn't. So
He's waiting for 2 million now.
I refreshed it at like 99997, and I was like, yes. And then I was about to hit, and it went to 1 million, and I went, fuck!
So you missed, and then you instantly unsubscribed. You're like, no.
Like I was annoyed though, because I wanted to be the guy who like made you 1 million subscribers. Yeah. That was going to be my thing, but
that's the funny thing is, in your mind, you're central to everyone else's story. So he went, I made him 1 million.
Very much like the Joe and JJ documentary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, 100%.
Do you want to go for a walk on the beach, Alex?
There is a great moment during the Joe and JJ documentary. It's mid-fight, and it's like really building up, and then it just goes to the beach, and Brian just goes, yeah, I love the beach.
The funny thing is, it was your idea to put that right in the middle.
It was such a good bit, though, that we couldn't miss it out. It goes from this, hits him with 1, 2. Yeah, I love the beach.
Whitney Bay's alright, like it. Kind of cool. Just nice.
Just skimming a stone.
He was.
Nature.
When it comes to hitting 1 million, I'm not openly annoyed at other people's success, but I guess it's hard not to, when you've got a dick, look at other people's dicks. Do you know what I'm saying? And think, do I deserve better? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so there was a little bit. By the time I'd hit the 1 million, I thought, well, yeah.
But 1 million now is like it's like 100k now, isn't
so
it?
when
really?
you hit it, Stephen, honestly, there was no point doing it anyway.
Like,
feels that way.
It's like the old 100k. It's nothing real. What was you doing when you hit 1 million? Did you have a party or anything?
Nah. I didn't even do the.
You must have.
I got annoyed because my video flopped on the day.
Did it?
Yeah, my
That's
video
just
flopped. My video flopped on the day I hit it, and I was really annoyed. And then I hit it, and I was like, "Oh, that's good." And then I went home.
Did he hit his desk?
I was going to say.
Did you? Alex, what did you do? You must have done something.
I mean, for me, it was really weird because of the fact that because obviously the challenge stood way too well. I already got the feeling of hitting it when I saw that I was doing
Arrogant.
Yeah.
No.
Unsubscribe.
Because you know how on Social Blade you got it projected stats. I was like, oh, it's going to happen now. And I was like, oh, it's kind of not as fun anymore. Like I know it's going to happen.
And obviously, Keemstar's all told us that you're just friends with the
yeah,
millions.
and also
you know what I mean? That's
my
it.
tactic was exposed.
That's it.
So
He's exposed you now. You're out.
It's only downhill from here.
Yeah.
Is he going to just call you and go, was that all right? Did I do it well?
Yeah, all the time.
I got some balloons.
Really?
Oh, yes.
That was really nice.
I
I
actually
ruined it
did
because
love
I
that.
did the same
Did
sort
that
of
at
balloons for
Parklife.
my 30th, and I was going to post the same picture. And I saw
But you
yours and
bottled it.
thought,
Well, I
"You've done
got
it."
one and an M, and my
Yeah.
sister bought them, and my housemate came down, and because they'd like floated that way round, he thought it said M1.
Big
And
fan
I
of
was
the
like, why am I
motorway.
celebrating the M1?
Favourite motorway.
Because it was a long journey, Jack. You know, it's a metaphor.
No one really did anything special for mine. Still sort of waiting for that.
No.
To be fair, I went to 1 to 1.4 like within a day.
There's no point in hitting a milestone if you don't take the lips off the way you hit it. If you're not hitting it by like fucking smashing it, like
Well, I had my 900k podcast ready to release, and I hit the million before I could get the podcast out. So it was like really, I was in. Thanks, Logan, by the way, for that. But then again, he's ripped my podcast off now, so fair play to him. You know what I mean? Give and take.
And done it better.
Yeah, it
must
must
be
be nice to
really
have a guest booker and all these nice things like these.
And he got
Yeah.
Deji on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
was
sort of
her.
the pull of having that kind of, you know, I'm Logan Paul, come talk to me,
Yeah.
whereas we're just basically, sorry, can we have a chat?
Yeah, it's annoying.
You know you're struggling when you got me for a 4th time.
Yeah. Is that
And
him
they
the
were
most
fast.
appearance? I think there's a few people here with the most
Will's on
appearances.
4.
I think Will's got the record right now.
well, I mean, Laurence technically.
Yeah. I'm just a lucky hanger on.
Cheers.
You shouldn't laugh there. That's good.
Oh, dear.
Thanks for joining us today. That was the Christmas podcast.
Is that
You
actually
two are
it?
going on tour soon, lads. Promote that. Promote that. Get it.
We're both well. All right. Stephen's funny, so I brought him on me too.
Thank you very much.
Called it equal, but it's
You're
not.
banging on the table a lot. That's
cool.
good.
Do what I want. This week on the
It's
internet
named
live.
after one of my best series that I've done, and people can't wait to see it this week on the internet. It's not going to be about the week.
No,
though,
it's
is
not.
it?
It's going to be about.
False
Well, we've got to make
advertising.
the show yet, to be honest.
You don't
Yeah.
actually know what it's about yet, do you?
Yeah, we'll see. Honestly, we don't even know, so it's going to be interesting.
And yet people have bought tickets, Alex, so suck on that.
That's true, you're not wrong.
What have you ghostwriters come up with?
I don't know.
haven't hired them yet.
Alex, what sort of things have you got down?
Alright, so I'll just end up writing it for Will in the end anyway. That's what I'm going to
No,
do.
genuinely, one of my mates from school like texts us out the phone. He goes, "Oh, me niece is wanting to go into this YouTuber gig. Have you ever heard of these two lads?" And I was like,
30 quid for VIP?
Must
Yeah,
be
go
doing
on, let's see it.
"Must be doing alright."
I'll go
though.
to charity, by the way, Jack. Sorry. Before I get shot.
Does it go? It does, yeah.
Did you get a Yankee Candle with it as well?
No.
Oh, so they're going to meet you afterwards.
You get a wanky handle.
All right.
I think it's before.
What
Legally
have
binding.
you ever had any weird meetings? We've had people tweeting us in what we should talk about. Weird fan interactions.
Not myself, but we were out on a Christmas party last night. Last week. And
Must
JJ
have
was
missed
in
that
the
invite.
loo, right? Cock out, and there's one fucking drunk bloke literally hanging onto his shoulder going, "You've got to beat that Logan Paul." And it's literally cock in one hand and like on his shoulder.
That's how all my meet and greets go.
I will, yeah.
To be fair, Calix is a real mess when he gets drunk.
I knew that.
So that was a recent experience.
Now, my worst one was because of you. That's my worst one. When we were both at Insomnia, and you tweeted, "Everybody who goes and meets ImAllexx today, punch him." And the thing is, because Will said it to do it, people actually went and did it. I had one guy come up to me and just start boxing me. Well, not quite. I put up a fight. I always punch my fans. That's what I do every time I meet them.
Clip that out.
But
I had someone turn up at my house, and she was from Cambridge, and I'm from Norwich. And
You've got a lot of women fans, by the way.
She was
A
like,
lot of
"No."
women have like said on my comments like, I found you through JaackMaate. I was like, maybe there is a benefit. Maybe there's finally an upside to having this cunt.
Teachers, fucking hell.
I think
Yeah,
mine
no,
was
she
9%.
and she
9%,
like knocked
fuck
on
yeah.
the door and was like, "Oh yeah, can I have a photo?" Because this was way back when, and I used to put my actual address in my banner.
You fucking nutter.
No.
So people,
Jesus.
so people would send me like Christmas presents that I could open, and she just rocked up and she was like, "Can I come into your house?" And
Such a different time, innit?
yeah, I know.
Fucking hell.
And she came in. I was like, "I'm not too sure." And then I was like, "Yeah, can do." And she came in because apparently the lighting was better. I was like, "How did you get here?" She was like, "My parents dropped me off, and they were across the
Finger on
road."
How old was she?
Fiona,
mate,
for fuck's
She
sake.
was fucking young. She was about 11, 12.
Oh, God.
Like,
Right,
So you
But when
invited,
she,
you
when she was
invited
like,
the
"Can you
young
come
child
in?" I was
into
like,
your
"I don't know what to do," but the lighting was better inside, so she did.
So I locked her in the garage.
In the shed. Still there now.
You're my
Got
million
on Fritz
She
off.
works the camera.
I watched a documentary about shit like that last night, where this lass got kidnapped and like she was 14, and then 18 years later she turned up and she'd had a couple of kids with her fucking kidnapper, and they
Mortgage, Ford estate.
literally he
called
got
World War
arrested.
II.
He got arrested, but the kids were so attached to him they thought like dad's going to prison, And like the kids didn't want him to go to prison. They were like, "That's me dad." Well, it was.
It was.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Stockholm syndrome. innit?
Yeah, completely.
That's wild.
You been there?
Yeah.
What's it like? All right.
Pretty. The people are quite
How was your trip? Sorry.
really good.
It looks fucking.
Lawrence
like,
has been to Sweden, by the way.
just to go and see the
As
dogs.
they say, Sweden.
Well, he was sending me videos of him with huskies.
Class.
like,
He's petting something else in the video I got.
It was basically a dog sled. So you get like 4 really eager dogs, and then the dogs just pull you around the Arctic Circle for a couple of
Right,
days.
sexually.
How'd they make them eager? What if one of them don't want it?
To be fair, some of them didn't want it, and they were
were
like, we
shocked.
took them back to the kennels. One in the head.
This new EXO fur merch.
To be fair, I did, while I was out there, I thought this would be a really good XO video. This would be a great trip for the
Do you
vlogs.
fancy?
I'd fuck anything with dogs. I'm
I don't like
Really?
the
I
cold.
just said I'd fuck anything with dogs. No, anything with dogs, I'm down.
I
Jack
sent
would
you
do a
the
video on it.
most,
Yeah.
the most photos of the dogs.
Yeah.
The dogs are so
Fucking
sweet,
wow.
they're so loving, they love
My mates
attention.
Don't
they
like
love,
dogs.
Am I
They-
right? Just a weird segue. Is your biggest video the one with the girl with the dogs?
10 million?
Yeah,
That was a weird
Wow,
one.
10 million?
10 million?
10 million.
Imagine your biggest video ever be your last fucking dogs. That is
No, honestly,
mad.
that's what I said in the video. At Summer in the City, some girl's dad come up to me and went, "You're that guy that does the videos about the women fucking dogs." That's my life.
Well,
That is
you know,
my
we've
life.
all got that video.
What do you
that-
get?
Oh, yeah.
We've got
Like,
the,
what's
you
your
know,
most
crying
common
at the
one?
start of the
Yeah,
year.
100%.
When people
What
go,
you
"Oh,
got?
you're from,"
I don't know
What did he say?
my video be.
BG Media. Like, I literally.
yeah, I get how to be stormed.
Mine was
Yeah.
bullying people.
Yeah.
Like,
That's good.
Yeah, but that's everyone. What's like the main one?
just Emma Chamberlain and her
Oh,
friends.
yeah,
isn't
you
it,
think
really?
yours were 4 weeks ago? That's
Emma
Right,
Chamberlain.
anybody who appears in YouTube Rewind.
Who's Emma Chamberlain?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, she's like a American vlogger who does like. Well,
This is,
I don't even know how to
West Ham
describe
Liverpool
it.
vlog
Just
up in
vlogs.
Park.
That was a great one.
My favourite video you've done was the monster one where you're singing.
Gabby Hanna one.
Because you're such a terrible singer. It
No,
makes it
I'm
even
good.
funnier.
quite good.
Monster!
It was good.
Right, better than my fucking effort. I've
Wow.
tried it.
I would say every YouTuber does music at one point. I'm slowly introducing it in. I'm not going to rush it.
I think it
One
must
day.
cross every YouTuber's mind of, should I do a
do
diss track?
Am I a
At some
rapper?
point.
Have you done? You've not done one, have you?
No, I can sing, but
You should.
You can sing.
You can sing. Now you've said that, you know people are going to
Ryan,
want it.
take it away.
I mean, we've got the karaoke machine, so I'll get it out at the end. We'll all have a good sing
We're going
song.
to be doing Christmas carols.
Yeah,
Do the F2 diss track on repeat.
yeah. For
Are you
the
gonna tidy that water?
we
down?
did we did EXO Secret Santa. I got Stephen a remote control Audi R8. So
Oh, nice.
Great
Now
present.
you
Love
can
that.
tell your friends that your mate's got an Audi R8.
and also a Batman mask. Someone got him a Batman mask as well. I don't know who
That's
got him that.
really good.
That was
I got
good.
two
I
of
got him the
those,
Batman mask.
but it's a level up on mine.
Yeah.
I think
Was there anyone get a peep from Algeza?
No,
No, nothing like that.
I get
we
tagged
stay
in
quiet.
videos on
Prefer
Instagram
not to
where he's
speak.
boxing now.
We've all been there for about 3 weeks.
a dodgy shoulder.
I have got a dodgy shoulder. I'm not sure boxing's for him. He's still not over getting dropped by Arsenal.
For fuck's sake.
Have you seen that video where he says he was the best footballer on the ball?
yeah.
During the year that the Invincible.
Oh yeah, that guy banged that video.
No,
Yeah.
do you know what it
First
is?
video.
I think there's a new culture on YouTube, and really everyone in this room is to blame for it. Where it's like, if we take on a big YouTuber and make them look a complete cunt, then you're banging views and you're
It's like,
starting.
it's like vultures.
Yeah, you're starting your
No,
career.
that's the issue now that I was going to say we're all a million, but sorry. People are going to come after us next, and that's not okay. That's why
When do the crowd turn? That's
So
the
you
problem,
drop-
isn't it? When they go,
Yeah.
hold on a minute, you guys are the wankers.
you guys are the ones we fucking don't like anymore.
Yeah.
We're coming after you.
That's when the next generation come up and go.
come
How do you
through.
avoid that then? How do you
By
avoid
not saying
that?
the N word's a good shout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't shout. Definitely shout.
that's
Try-
a
try-
building block.
Try not to be a sexist cunt. That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
Don't
Brian,
say,
that's two
cunt in
people
a
out the room
derogatory
now.
way
My
then.
bad. Yeah, sorry, stupid people.
Fanny.
I do get a lot of comments in me videos saying, "Why are you so sexist?" It's like,
Why are you?
I'm not. It's a joke though. In 2018, you can't even joke about the differences between men and women anymore. It's ridiculous. Like you can joke about anything else other than that, pretty much.
Pretty much. Apart from other differences.
We'll
But,
find
yeah.
out what we can't joke about in this podcast, won't we?
Yeah.
You can't say that at 2:43. Japanese war slave. Not you, sorry, Brian.
Sorry.
This is good.
How much of that you had?
I don't know.
So the
Mike's
tour.
feeding me.
Are you excited for the tour, lads?
Yeah, we've
Are you
got,
not a bit nervous?
Not
No, I'm
really.
not nervous 'cause
I'm
someone else is
excited.
writing it forward.
I feel like once we've written it and we've like got really good jokes that we know will work. It'll be exciting. We haven't got that yet, so nervous.
Stephen needs to start working on it, and then we're good.
When is it, March or something?
End of March through to April. How many days?
10, but 12 nights.
It's a lot of money for that amount.
We've got matinee.
10 days.
Yeah.
2 shows in one
They're
night.
really working us hard.
The second show's going to really struggle. Let's be honest.
Good luck if you got tickets to
You're
that.
saying see the matinee?
Yeah.
See, we have a
early.
great live show story, don't we, Jack?
What's that?
You've just done one, haven't you?
We did. Yeah,
What was that like?
We're not supposed to mention this.
Are we not?
No, because you're meant to make out like it went really well.
It did
You
go
still
well.
can, you still
Well,
can.
the show.
He says that now.
The show.
No, well, it went better than we expected it to.
The actual show went well, right? I carried you, but the tickets were free, so obviously people just got them and then just didn't rock up. So we had about a third of the capacity come, and I think we didn't put many on anyway because we just wanted it to be a little show just to see how it was going. And what was it was meant to be 100.
Yeah, we didn't want to sell out Wembley.
No, I think you'll find if you look closer, most of the tickets were bought by one person. I bought the first 5 rows. Just sat there and thought, yeah, this will knock them down a peg or two. All right, there's one podcast in this town.
Set up your own podcast again, cunts. All right.
So we had about must have had, 30 tops.
No, it was like a mini conference meeting, but it was like it was really off-putting because like you could see everybody's individual reactions.
Yeah,
when you were saying.
right.
And there was a bit where like Alex was talking. There was like one bit where he was talking, but I got a celebration and ate the chocolate and was just like flicking it off, not thinking anyone was looking at me. And then everyone started laughing, and I was like, "That is the biggest laugh I've fucking got tonight. That I can't flick a wrapper off my finger. That's not going to happen every fucking week."
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, so
Live podcasts are awkward
fair,
because they're not scripted though. So like,
It must be the easiest hour and a half's worth of money you've ever made though, a live podcast.
We did
You
it
sit and talk.
Yeah, but we did it for free.
Yeah. No, but if you did
easy money.
if that was we should have done that as a tour, but he's got no crack.
I've got no
Yeah, you're right.
crap.
Stephen's the problem here. Stephen's the real problem.
I wasn't
It's this
listening.
shirt that
I'm
makes
so
it the
sorry. Moving on.
Stephen, you've done a gig that failed once, haven't you?
Yeah, Brian,
when you
big
booked
time.
to do, you were booked to do something after a religious meeting once.
It wasn't. I wasn't told it was a religious meeting. It was a Christmas party. I was told
All right.
on a company based in St Helens. However, the headquarters was St Helens, and there was only 6 employees from there. The rest were from all over the world, and they were sort of like pharmaceutical experts. And just before
The type
I
of people
get
watch
there,
this podcast.
Your audience,
exactly.
really. Yeah.
And the guy goes, "It's it's largely Muslim based." I'm like, okay, and he was
Well,
going
I
down,
pre-warned
he
you.
was
that's them
going down
jokes
the-
out. Cross.
He saw my tattoo.
Allahu Akbar.
Edit note.
Merry Christmas.
He just said like they won't be drinking, so it might be a bit of a weird gig. And I was just like, okay. Anyway, I'm
They
about.
might not be drinking. They
might not laugh.
Your jokes aren't funny when people are sober, so just to be clear.
It was ridiculous. So I go on an hour late, and they were late an hour. So
Not you.
but unfortunately, just before I go up, they'd had a briefing on the year, and they did badly apparently. So they got told off. Then they had a reading from the Quran, and then next up is
Stephen Trice walked on stage.
Stephen on the stage talking about his nan's sex life. Did not go well, Brian. But hey,
dear.
That reminds me of your story.
Oh, we don't need that.
Yes,
story
we do.
again.
It's a good story, mate. It's a great story.
I told you before, didn't I?
That's
Didn't I?
fine.
Is this the
I'll clip it up
BBC
for the
one?
True Geordie clips. Go on.
Yeah, when I because I did a show for BBC Three that was about moving out.
Oh, yeah.
Can you move out with your mum and dad
Oh.
without your mum and dad?
I remember those.
And then they needed like a story arc.
The short
obviously,
answer was no.
Yeah. So halfway through, they were like, "What do you want to do? What's your career?" I was like, "Be a stand-up." I
They
guess.
asked you halfway through.
Halfway through, it was almost like they hadn't planned it, and then it got to like the second to last day, and
We
they had
don't
a
actually
shit
know what he
show.
does.
Yeah, it
What
was
do we have him
awful.
on?
So they booked me a gig at this little pub in Norwich that I'd never been to, and they told me the morning of. So they were like, "You got a gig tonight."
Fucking hell.
So I was like, I don't know what to do. So I don't know if anyone knows the Twitter account Uber Facts.
Yeah.
And they're clearly not
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah.
So I just got loads of those and was like, I'll just rip these off.
Yeah.
And then I got to the pub, and there was a grown man on the floor in a suit crying, and I was just like,
First time we met Brian.
I was like, what's his deal? And then the barman was like, yeah, he's just been to a wake. His dad's died. So I was like, cool.
You see these facts?
Cool.
Dead people decompose as a rate of alcohol. I'll get rid of that fact.
But my there was like 3 people stood there watching me, and I was in the corner. And my first joke, which was obviously shit, was if people don't laugh at your jokes, statistically they're more likely to find you attractive.
Brilliant.
So I was like, so I was like, so if you're not laughing, hello, like that. But there was one guy, and
He's got a boner in the corner, wanking away.
there was actually a Muslim guy in the front, and I don't know why.
Those pesky
I
Muslims.
don't know why.
Got a sense of humour.
So I looked at him as if to say, like, so if you don't laugh, you clearly fancy me, and he went, ugh, and walked off, and then there was 2 people left. I was like, cool.
How do you know he was Muslim?
Well, I spoke to him after.
Yeah.
And I went, sorry about that joke, and he was like, no, it's fine. And I went, thank you.
I'll do all of my 5 praise. Prayers, whatever.
No, I did speak to him
Your
after.
career is over. It's all over now.
I spoke to him after.
Do you still?
And he said he really liked my Facebook video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The call to action. Do you still harbour like hopes of being a comedian in the long run?
He's a comedian.
It's all about.
No,
1 million subscribers.
No, in the long run, do you still want to be fun? No, like, do you still want to do like stand up, or do you still want to go on tour and do that and be
There's a lot of money in that, by the
you know
way.
what I mean? Netflix special, all that.
The plan was to do stand up, and then we done this podcast, and it was really fucking easy. And I thought I'll just do that.
We had exactly the same.
Yeah.
But seriously though, would you?
I would like to do it. Yeah.
And have you sort of got things?
Oh yeah. Humanity.
Jokes.
I'm gonna call the first one.
Brilliant. Yeah, this is Ricky Gervais from 10 years ago. Yeah, it's like karaoke but with jokes. That's brilliant. That's really good. You just mouth along to a Ricky Gervais act, sipping beers. Yeah, doing that every 2 minutes.
I love Gervais. Do you know he made 20 million this year on?
He never mentions it.
No.
Should be
I think Seinfeld was #1 again.
Yeah,
he's still doing it.
That's amazing.
Still?
Yeah.
That was the reruns of Seinfeld.
I think the amazing part was the fact that WillNE was in 3rd.
Yeah.
Seinfeld ain't that good though. Like, he's good, but like,
Not
he's
a
not.
stand-up.
What is it?
but
Not for-
he's- No, so it's not for a stand-up. It's for the
Just
reruns of
just
all
the
of
He
Seinfeld.
does the
That's just how much he's made this year.
That would be more
coffee
than
in a
Friends.
car with a cock.
Yeah, you would have thought Friends would have been up there.
Yeah, but that's just for
comedians.
Comedians, yeah.
So like Chappelle was top 3, I think, for
Which
example.
makes sense.
Well done,
'cause
Dave.
Chappelle, so
And he's got
basically,
the channel, Dave.
yeah,
That's his.
Dave Chappelle's basically got that cult following who will find
Ooh,
anything
Steady.
he says. Anything he says, they'll find it funny.
We've been asked to talk about like awkward moments generally. If you've got any awkward moments, lads.
Why are you looking at me and Laurence?
Yeah.
This podcast.
I feel like Laurence would have an awkward
I had an
moment.
awkward moment the other day where I was at
The other day?
yeah, where I was at a station and the guy went, True Geordie, and I went, the very same.
That's me!
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
I look like him.
And I went, why iPet? and
Seriously?
And he went, can I have a selfie? I went, yeah, sure, mate. And my friend was with me. I was like, what awkward. And he was like, go on then. And we both just stood there and he went, go on then. And I was like, what do you mean? He went, it's going to have to be on your phone because my phone's died.
Oh, fuck off.
And so I had to take the picture and then send it to him.
That's a piss take.
Didn't even post it.
I've got too much
No,
of an ego.
I had one like that the other day. I was actually on the fucking train.
The fucking train?
Yeah.
Not the Virgin train. Train banter, that's good.
Glad he didn't say Northwest.
I was on a train. I was on a train. I'm going to have to really watch my words with Stephen and Laurence around because they scare me. They'll attack anything I say.
Go make a cup of tea.
I was on the train.
Lawrence McKenna must be
and
stopped.
some kid just walks past and like screams at me. I look at him like, what? I've just sat on the train.
George, fuck off.
George, please leave me alone. And then it was an empty carriage. I picked one with nobody on it on purpose. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't know why I'm on a
Big
podcast.
time.
Oh my God.
As Brian calls it.
Yeah, now I've got a million. I'm better than everybody I know. So I was just sat there, and he screamed. And before he said anything to me, I'd already pulled his phone out to take a picture. And I'm looking at him, and I don't even know what's going on. I was confused, like what I'd even done at that point. And then he just took a picture of him and he walked off. Didn't say a word.
Oh, I had that, but I had a Boots meal deal in my mouth as I was doing it. And so he went, oh, and he had his iPad and he went over and took a picture.
iPad?
You know it's fucking iPad.
It was a 40-year-old rambler.
Do you have the whole meal deal in your mouth?
A large portion of the chicken sandwich.
Yeah, the crisps and the sandwich. Yeah.
Just all in.
What's he getting your meal deal?
He makes it into a ball and then just loves it in.
I actually had someone do this similar thing. Come up to me. I was walking along Victoria Station, and he goes, you're that YouTuber, innit? I'm like, nah, mate, because I'm thinking, if you don't know who the fuck I am, you don't watch us that much. Fuck you, cunt. So I'm keep walking, and he goes, I was like, what's my name then? He's like, it's True Geordie. He goes, Geordie Shaw. And I looked at him, I went, nah, mate. And he's like, oh, how can I have a photo? I went, nah, see you later. So, ironically...
And that man was Adam Boltwood.
Boltwood was with me. Boltwood was just cringing. But actually, it's funny we should bring this up, because when I tweeted this out, you two both noticed this. There was a guy on saying...
can't.
So I'm saying, what should we talk about?
My favourite bit was in that tweet. He goes, "I go by the name of."
Yeah.
Read the Twitter. Read the
I
Twitter.
go by the name.
I was about to read it out anyway, Laurence. He goes, talk about people coming from nothing that have now earned what they have, and ignoring people that are coming from nothing. Check your Facebook. I go by Jonathan Hubbard.
It's not going to get you the kids.
Funny old thing though. I did check my Facebook because I thought, what's your big?
Read out his message.
What's your problem?
Kids with AIDS.
So here's what Jonathan had to say.
Come on, J-boy.
Hi, hello, TG. I have a proposition for you. I'm a 19-year-old actor, and I've been acting for 5 years, and every day in some way or another, I knock on the industry's door. I have a concrete mindset, and I sharpen my craft to an obsessive degree. To be honest with you, I haven't got many roles recently. Shock. But however, I have been creating work that I post online. Those videos consist of different characters and scenes that I created on myself. I will send you the links if you're interested. I am determined, and I like this one. I am determined as an ox. Is that really? I mean, literally. That's not
The ox.
I've never looked at an ox and gone, he's determined. He's determined.
I'm casting him.
They're just fat, lazy bastards, really, aren't
To be
they?
fair, if Timon and Pumbaa are getting recast, then that's going to be good for you. You know what I mean?
Every character I do in a film is a part of my legacy. So I ask you, True Geordie, will you have me on the True Geordie podcast?
Yes, you might as well.
First class train
Star is born, I tell you.
I'm gonna make you a star, kid. You've made it.
Podcast. You're in one.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? That's the type of shit people send me.
I'm captivated.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
If you want to be part of Stephen Tries Industries, Hubs, you've got it. I need an ox.
Actually, I got a brilliant email. Actually, talking about emails the other day, I got an email from somebody's dad who asked me to take their daughter to prom.
Oh, that's sweet. That's really sweet.
Right.
That's quite nice.
To be fair, you're quite a safe choice. Do you know what I'm saying?
I wear pink.
On this table, you'd be the guy I'd choose.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick you.
Yeah, I'd be the
Probably,
last.
and well, he invites 11-year-olds into his house, so I wouldn't pick him
That's
as
me and you.
well.
Wow. If
You said
if people
it.
just skip this podcast and get that, that's going to look mental.
I love I'm going to release this as a clip with no reference to that at all.
Bring down the happy hour from the
Game
inside.
oh, we've got one.
More alcohol, please. I was going
Do you want me to? I'll pop another bottle and then.
Oh, you love popping balls.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I'm involved. I'm involved.
Balling.
I imagine this is what Will's like when he goes back to Newcastle, aren't you?
What?
Yeah.
Is there a YouTuber in the house? Yes. I fucking made it.
His parents are just looking at him.
Gold chain round his neck.
It is fake.
Born
Got to
off the
admit
protein.
that. So got it sent free from an Instagram page. Cheers,
Oh,
lads.
take that, take that.
Yeah, apparently I'm a model these days. So
I'll tell you what.
Awkward.
Well, whilst we're bragging, Toby Carvery DM'd me on Twitter offering me a free jumper. Thank you, I'll take it. Didn't come in the post. Oh well. Next year.
Fucking hell,
I
Laurence.
got range.
You're going to put someone's fucking eye.
I know, but they can see. They're watching behind the cameras.
Behind the lenses.
How's that?
I'm not a Toby Carr.
I got a VK Christmas jumper sent to me.
Really?
Yeah,
That is
and-
tragic.
yeah.
PlayStation really love you as well,
Yeah,
don't they?
I know.
See
Yeah.
you sucking them off.
VK is in.
The Alcapop.
Is it not even WKD? That ruined.
No.
VK gives me horrendous flashbacks from uni. I fucking hated uni.
Yeah.
Hey.
I've
Uni's
just started
good.
Still
playing my
graduated.
PlayStation Classic, by the way. Shout out to them.
Everyone got one apart from
Metal Gear Solid playthrough. Just started it. Coming out on the second channel soon. Just promoting
Is that on the little one or?
Yeah, it's tiny.
Yeah, it's tiny. I was a bit disappointed by that. I
mean,
thought it was going to be an actual replica.
It's not
I
a great
got one.
system, is
No.
it?
Is it not?
I've got to be honest, it isn't a great system.
I'll be
It's
honest
that
with
thing.
you.
If it's
I'm
no Crash
still
Bandicoot
enjoying
or Spyro, what's the point?
it.
No, they're in, and tiny controllers as well.
I just want to say,
controllers are the same size
for Alex.
I've received
Yeah, they are.
nothing from any brand.
Are they,
so-
Brian?
The controllers are the same size, aren't they?
I think they're the same as the old
But
PlayStation.
they're not the DualShock ones. The DualShock ones felt bigger because they don't have the.
Oh, right,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't want you to get your facts wrong because PlayStation
In terms of, if we're talking about awkward situations, by the way, a confession. I once met a girl's parents for the first time actually it was a Christmas time. They all sat around having their like a dinner on Christmas Eve or whatever, and I'm just stood up like, yep, hello. Like I was there 18, 19, quite awkward. You know what I mean? You're meeting them for the first time.
Do you have a beard, or were you clean?
I had.
He's always had a beard.
I had a bit
Always.
of a beard, but it wasn't.
She was the beard.
She was hot, actually. Credit to her. She had. Anyway,
A shaven fanny was Brian. I'm about to say.
I talked to them for about half an hour, stood up and that, and just before I'm about to go, her brother pops up and goes, "Just so you know, mate, you've had your fly down the entire time you've been talking to her." And I was like,
And you've been wanking.
I wasn't wanking.
Oh, dear.
So why did you get? What was happening?
What prick? Where was it?
Is that what he said? What a prick.
I
can see why she's with you, Brian.
Didn't go very well.
Do you consider yourself to be a bit of a smooth talker?
I mean, I can talk to women.
So back in the day, when you were going out, were you like
chirpsing?
This is nailed on. Yeah, were you a big chirpser?
I never thought I'd hear you say that.
Don't know why, mate.
But you were a big chirp,
I'm
so
always
Laurence
not-
McKenna.
I think up until about 17, 18, I was nervous as any guy would be. But I don't know, something just clicked in my head where I stopped caring.
Right.
Cocaine.
Alex has eyes lit up.
In student.
Well, his pupils did.
No,
I was having, believe it or not, sex with a woman once, and you know, like sometimes
Just
when like
for a change.
Put the squirrel down.
I just want to see what all the fuss is about.
and I'm very awkward at the best of times, but
Yeah.
like, people think I'm making this up. I've told it in so many videos. I wouldn't keep on with this. Right? This happened.
To be fair, it's a good bit though. So.
Come on, let him talk.
And her mum was like shouting at her through the door because she hadn't balled socks correctly.
Have you come yet or not?
She was like, "You keep doing the socks the wrong way." She came in the room. There was no duvets. This was in the summer, and
You can't have 2 minutes in the sun.
You're naked thrusting
I
off.
swear to God, though, this is in the middle, right? She's on top, yeah?
Brilliant.
And I've just gone, because the door was there, I've just gone and looked at the wall, because I can't bear to look. And she stood there, I reckon it must have been 30 seconds, which is a long amount of... No, I'm just there, I've gone down like instantly. I was barely up anyway, but I was like, I'm looking at the wall. And then she's going, the way you ball the socks, like the orange, don't go with the black. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
And then she goes, and that man's wearing no clothes, but he's got odd socks on. Why are you sleeping with him?
And then she left after 30 seconds.
Do you think she knew you were there?
Well, she knew I was there.
Yeah.
What, the girl you were shagging or
That's good. Yeah, that's weird though, isn't it?
I've been caught, but not that bad. There was a girl I used to see. Me and her dad got on really. I grew up without a dad relationship, and her dad didn't have a son. He had 3 daughters or whatever. So like me and him were bonding and all that, and we used to go like fishing and stuff like that. So I was getting on well
You
with
didn't
this
sleep
guy.
with him? No.
No. I was getting on.
I'm sucking him off.
Genuinely.
And the 3 daughters walk in. I was absolutely mortified.
I need to have ball in his socks. I just had to stop. Leave it in his mouth.
Just wait until I'm done. You just gotta let it go. So, genuinely, I had a real thing for this girl. All right, like this was one of the fittest girls I've ever fucked in my life, right? And her dad was sound, and I was like, you know what it is? This is going really well. I'm really happy with this. But anyway, she had a bedroom that was upstairs, and her window faced out onto the main street. And one day we're getting down to it, and the blinds are sort of tilted in an awkward angle, and apparently. And I didn't realise this, but whenever our dad used to drive past the house and turn around and park up, he'd always look through the blinds, and they were angled in such a way that on one lucky day, or unlucky as for his maybe, I was eating her ass out.
Determined as an ox.
In the window.
Her bed was her bed was window height though. Do you know what I mean? Her bed was window height. And I'm tucking into her arse like I've got a serious illness and the cure is in her butthole. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mentality of getting in there. So.
Determined as an ox.
So anyway, we hear sort of the door go, and then that's when we realise like, oh shit, he must have seen. But then I'm like, probably not. You know what I mean? You can't look at the window every fucking time he pops up.
Comes in great form, fellow.
I just imagine Brian going, probably not.
No. I mean, the smell would have still been on my face as I'm coming downstairs.
Anyway, go on.
So anyway,
Could you say you?
he comes through the door, and I'm just thinking, just act like nothing's happened, just breeze this. He never made eye contact with ever again.
Yeah, because he
after
looked
that
at you and he
moment.
was like, I thought we had something special.
No.
I can't believe you've done this, Brian.
Genuine. I think, but then in my head, I
With
thought
my own
afterwards,
daughter?
would it have been better if I was just fucking her? Is it the fact that I was?
That rim job's weird.
Do you know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong with the rim job. Neither way.
Okay,
You really are a beta male, aren't you?
Situation.
No, but like, if you're looking at your daughter in a certain way, is it better? Because then you know she's a bit of a freak then, do you know what I mean?
Is that not the kind of child you want to raise?
At least you know she's clean, though.
Is that specifically what you have in mind when you're raising a kid?
I put a spit shine on that. It was like a fucking mirror by the time I was done.
This wouldn't happen, mate.
I tell you.
If you brought her up properly in a good household.
You could have eaten your dinner off of that thing.
You did. Oh dear.
Thanks for tuning in. Merry Christmas.
I forget this is a Christmas podcast.
If people are watching this on Christmas Day,
Merry
you know,
Christmas.
If you're doing a rim job as we speak.
Grandma.
The stuffing was.
No, don't take it there. I'm going to eat my Christmas dinner and put this on for the family. Especially now I know this is going to happen.
Oh, it's that gravy. Oh, it was good times.
Do you have, because you didn't really grow up...
Something to do with the giblets.
We'll work it out. We'll record it after and then drop it in.
Cheers,
So,
mate.
do you have any Christmas traditions that you go through?
That is one of them.
He goes around to a house every year and goes, I'm back.
No, I like to watch The Godfather after I've had my dinner, and I have it with a
When you say
bag,
dinner.
a bag of toffees, and I just sit and I watch it. Bag of,
It's sticky and brown.
a bag of chocolate toffees.
They're Cadbury's eclairs, as far as I'm told.
I haven't had one. Never hot minute.
Do you know what I've never had though? When we're talking about women and that and Christmas, do you know how you see girls dress up like Santa Claus? Like, never had that.
Can we talk about what you just dressed up as just before we did the
Santa?
Yeah, where is that gone?
Why have you taken it off?
It's downstairs. No, I would have done, but I'll put it in the video. They'll see it. They'll see it.
You'll get a bit of it.
Me and Laurence did it. You know, you turn round and then all of a sudden you dress.
Right.
We did that. He didn't watch me get undressed.
LBD saw his channel. But it's
Weird, because Brian was spinning for about 5 minutes, just trying to get these trousers on.
I wasn't.
And then he got so,
He's lying.
got so decent.
just a gravitational pull around
Just
it.
hit his head.
If you've ever shagged on a roundabout, you can relate to this.
Have you? Do you remember that? Do you? Do you remember that?
A little bit tipsy, Brian, but we went for it.
What?
Oh, shagging in the
Have you
park,
shagged on a roundabout?
No.
Is that you referring
On
to
a
me?
roundabout?
I thought you were saying we shagged on a roundabout.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I need something to stop me from getting pissed.
Fucking pussy! Stop it! This is Christmas.
Sorry, yeah.
Can we just note the fact that Alex has gone through 2 pint cups of champagne?
I mean,
Look at this thing where your
I'm
face lit up
impressed.
there.
I'm impressed.
I've done two as well.
To be fair, Jack did say that this was going to end up being 5 men on Alex by the end of it. Spit roasting him. Are you up for that, Will?
I'm going to be pouring more then, because I do not want to be sober when that happens.
Have we got any?
Have you seen our picture of Stephen Tries dressed as you, by the way?
I wasn't dressed as you. This isn't an attack.
Yeah.
It's just me with a
Pass me
fringe.
the bottle.
I'm going to be doing a diss track on you next, Stephen.
I'm going to show Jack the picture of Stephen dressed as Alex.
Oh, that's uncanny.
Yeah,
that
is
is
he wearing
uncanny.
pink? He's got the same hairline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's it gone? I see your complexion.
We've got vodka in there. Where is it? Is it one of the lads sorted out? Where is it all? Is it in the? It's in the fridge, isn't it? Go and check the fridge.
So we haven't really prepared any topics for this one, have we?
We've got people have asked us to review the year. We've kind of done a lot of this before. Do we do this?
I had a good question.
YouTube
which was,
Rewind Part 10.
Somebody said, what do you reckon the worst thing that YouTube is going to do next year is?
That's a good one.
I was thinking about this because I was thinking about maybe preparing a script where I could like do fill in the blanks so that I could have like 10 videos prepared for what somebody's going to do.
To me, I think 2018 is. It's kind of like one of those years that'll stand out. I think I'll be surprised if I think this is going to be one that people look back at because so much monumental good and bad things happened this year.
We'll never top this summer. The
No.
fucking Heatwave, Pints and Kieran Trippier's right foot.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I was texting me like, where do we go from there? Like,
Yeah.
does it
You've
get
got a
there?
girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She takes back.
She was like, that's a bit of a
went-
sad thing to say. I was like, I'm being fucking serious.
I can't actually watch the recap of it on iPlayer, like the Summer of
So
Love
mad.
thing. I can't watch it because it'll bring back too many memories. Do you know what I mean?
It's not even the fact that it broke your heart. It's the fact that times were so good.
Yeah.
It was sunny and fucking pints.
Jack
and
quit
festivals.
YouTube for that summer, didn't you? I just remember thinking, Jack hasn't made a video in ages. I check Instagram and it's just him in a bar every night going, hey! Just an absolute state. An absolute state.
Oh dear.
Do you love your country? Do you love your country?
All right, Tommy, come on.
You've seen his Facebook videos.
Make sure you can join the group.
Yeah, it's
I need
alright.
some warriors. No,
Yeah.
I've got a funny.
There's this eco kid that's causing a bit of trouble.
I've got a funny Tommy Robinson story actually.
Yes.
Go on.
To do with weirdly the Logan fight. I'm at the weigh-in, and weirdly we're all like sort of doing my thing. Oh, everyone come on stage, weigh-in, and you just see Tommy Robinson in the audience, and
Hello, mate. I've met you at a march before.
it was one of the weirdest like random moments in my life. And the
used to
staff
go
I
around the
said was
EDL.
were furious. If we'd known he was coming, we would have like not allowed him in.
Who?
Tommy.
Which staff? Though?
At
the
JJ was like, I'll box you instead.
to be fair, that would do views. The Stuart stuff who runs the Sidemen stuff. He's like, we wish we'd known he was coming, but used a fake name or whatever. Anyway,
Fake name.
His name is a fake name.
Isn't it Stephen something?
They used
Lennon?
Ronnie Tobinson.
as you remember,
Rimmy Tommy.
the former heavyweight champion of the world was knocking around. Let's go, champ!
I thought you were talking about Tommy Robinson.
What's his name?
Shannon
Briggs. Sorry, Shannon Briggs. Bearing in mind, like Shannon Briggs is one of the few human beings that I've looked at and thought, "Fucking hell, you are big!" Like he's a huge man. He's just massive, right? After we finish the day, I go to the bar. Naturally, I grab a drink and I'm like, "Fuck me, fuck that's over." Tommy Robinson sat there, and Tommy's brought his son as a.
Any questions yet, Brian? Or we're not going to do that today?
The reason Tommy was there is he brought his kids. So in my head, I was like, "Yeah, fair enough, no worries." Shannon comes over, he spots Tommy Robinson, and he goes, and I'm like, "What am I about to witness?" Like in my head, I'm thinking. The heavyweight champ of the world, like this huge man. And Tommy Robinson looks tiny next to him.
A racist, a black man, and an Irishman walking.
And he goes, Shannon goes to Tommy, "You that guy that hates Muslims." And I'm just like, oh, shit, like I need to get my camera out or something. This is
Tommy
mental.
goes, yes, that's me.
Tommy looks in his eyes like, like the look. The only could be fear. That is all I can say. Like this.
He didn't say no.
What the hell is about to happen? And he just nervously giggled, and as Shannon's going towards him in almost slow motion, Tommy just sits there and I think he just prays at that moment. Like he's just thinking, what the fuck is about
He
to happen?
converted to Islam.
And Shannon just grabs him and hugs him and puts this
Hugs
tiny
him?
little head into his fucking huge chest and goes, "It's all right, man. I don't mind. I think you funny." And I'm just like,
Funny. That's exactly what Tommy was going for.
I'm just like, and Tommy's just like, his little peanut head's getting squished between this fucking
What's
huge
his boy
chest.
doing in all this?
Oh, I don't know. Someone else had him or something. It was just, it was mental. I was like, that could have gone so many different ways.
That is amazing. Imagine saying to somebody, "You're the guy who hates Muslims," and then your next action is to embrace them in a hug.
That was surprised at that. I was like, I don't know what
fantastic.
faith Shannon Briggs is, but I thought it could have gone fucking. I mean, let's be honest, a fight would have been over very quickly between those two.
Yeah, Tommy would have won. Yeah.
But Shannon, I don't know, he just didn't seem to give a fuck.
Have
He
you
was
seen that
chill.
video of Tommy like beating up them three geezers that come up to him in the street though? I have never seen anything like it. There's like three guys obviously come up to him like call him a racist, whatever.
And he wins.
He just takes his jacket off and starts fighting them, and he's handled himself well. I thought
100%.
I'm not going to sit here and go fair play, but fair play.
Do you know what? I was watching. I was like, do you know what? I don't like the Muslims either.
I sort of converted as I was watching it.
The only one I've seen is where
This is going
a
down.
guy gets out, like a guy walks towards him.
Yeah.
Tommy shits himself, walks back and trips over the curb.
Yeah.
No, I think the thing is, to be Tommy Robinson, you have to be game at the very least, because you are going to be attacked.
Only-
It's going to
I'll
happen.
give Tommy Robinson. He's game. 100%.
100%.
Tommy, you are game for this.
Yeah.
Game as fuck.
Cheat
How
yourself.
did you two meet? Because you two are sort of.
First time we met, he told me he played for Bournemouth.
No, I didn't. I didn't. To be fair,
that is normally no. To be fair,
No, I said I played in Bournemouth, as in the area.
Marshes eyes.
to be fair, that is normally a Y that is normally a line that works in GAY, but it isn't. You two have a lot of fun, all right?
Are you? Can you actually play football though?
He's got a lot of football boots. I've been in his house.
No, first time we met, you went, "Oh yeah, I was playing Sunday League. It was 1-1.
No,
I
no.
subbed myself back on 90th minute, scored a goal. Bosh, done.
Yeah,
Fucked off.
because I did.
Banged
I
a
did.
woman.
That was my second goal of the entire
What
season.
position did you play?
I was a left back.
Of course you were.
All the star players.
If we were doing a five-a-side team, I could pick the first player. I'd go Brian. In five-a-side, really good.
You played,
Really-
yeah.
I'm weirdly good. It could be something to do with the fact that you don't have to run much in five-a-side.
That's it though.
No, because actually you do move a lot in five-a-side. So
There's
you
not
move
much
as
room and he takes up half of
See,
it.
this is where the Bournemouth story comes in, because the reason why I don't have to run so much in five-a-side is because 2 of my mates used to play for the Bournemouth Academy, so I let them do all the work. And I would stand, and in five-a-side, you get no offsides in five-a-side.
Callum Wilson.
So I just stand by the goal. They'd
Right.
shoot, it hit a goalkeeper, it'd come back, I put it in.
It's a surprise JaackMate's happy hour is as good as it is, really,
Do you know-
isn't it? Because fuck me.
Do you know,
You
Alex?
are boring as fuck, mate.
Sign me for XO. That's all I want.
Are you still friends with him? Or when they got dropped by Bournemouth, did you leave them, Alex, and move on to proper players? Just climb your way out.
They did say when he left Bournemouth, he was the best on-the-ball player at the club.
At the club, yeah. He was, yeah.
Oh, good times, good times.
I don't care about your past years.
I've got alcohol left. I was going to drink my sorrow away.
There's some
but I
friendship.
can't do it.
Plenty of kill me there.
There's milk and gin there.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Don't make a white Russian.
That's what I order for girls in the club.
Can someone help us out with drinks if
Milk
anyone
and
needs
gin.
any?
I
definitely
think one of us should
do.
always go and make them.
Have you ever ordered
yeah.
a drink like for a girl and not been able to pay for it?
Hashtag relatable.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I've done that. It was a.
Set the scene. What did she look like? Where were you?
Max in a wig.
Yeah.
I wish.
I'm a woman.
He knows how to pull a cock. No, it was it was in St Helens, a beautiful place. I sort of seen her a few times because I used to go like every week, desperate for
Through
Fanny.
the bushes.
And then
I've seen you in the park.
People are going to hate you at the end of this podcast because you're interrupting so much. They're going to be like, that fucking prick.
To be fair, it's a throwback to the old
I was,
days.
Yeah.
I was in this club and it was like it's a proper ketty place. It's St Helens.
We've all been there.
Yeah, and I went, oh, can I buy you a drink? She was like, yeah. So I went to buy it, and they just go, yeah, we don't take card. So I just turned to her and go,
Well, at least
Oh,
you
that's
didn't
all
have
right. Yeah. I
enough
thought you
money.
didn't have enough money.
no, I had to
decline.
sprint up the street, came back, and it was
You
tragic.
turned around and went, I'm just going to the cash machine.
Exactly, yeah. I went, can you get these? I'll get the next
I
one.
can't believe that when Stephen said a ketty place, you went, yeah, we've all been there. That made it sound like you definitely do
even clock
ketamine.
It's just an on-running joke. So if I joke about everything, nobody will know what I actually do and don't do.
Oh, right, okay.
He's
Self-aware,
always out in
yeah.
St Helens.
That's like me, yeah.
Came in the other day
Merch
with
is
some
shit,
coke
or
off
got
George's
some
arse.
t-shirts on sale. Yeah, we've all been there, mate. Yeah.
Didn't you mention Ollie White's merch in your 1 million subscriber video?
I was just wearing it in my
Do you know what's
photo.
fucking
Yeah.
depressing? Ollie White owns a percentage of the company that do my merch.
Ollie White is creaming off of WillNE.
I literally I want to invest purely because of that. I'm
That's
like, I've got
amazing.
Ollie White is the Shug Knight of YouTube merch. He's sitting there like a don, just watching all these minions make his money. Like, yeah, you fucking peasant.
He's sitting there in a bath of beans, just fucking loving it. Do you know what I mean? He's going, I am the fucking shit. He's sitting there going, I am the table. Do you know what I mean? That fucking
As his
wanker.
brother pours in another tin. Not the sausages as well.
There's
Fucking
enough room for
hell.
one sausage in here. Don't make it look smaller.
Oh my! Ollie White makes money off WillNE. I never thought I'd say this.
Ollie White makes
Speaking of,
money. That's what fucking does me in. I'm mental.
got an eye, hasn't he?
Speaking of that group, there's some beef that we have to talk about.
Oh
guys.
God! Have you seen
Casper
Casper versus Josh Peters? I thought you were getting in the boxing thing with Josh Peters.
Josh,
Yeah, what's going
Josh
on?
came on our podcast last
up?
week.
I didn't see that one. What happened?
Is that out?
You're chilling.
No, it's not out.
I
Nah.
was gonna say, I would have known.
Yeah, nah.
You're a big fan.
I am actually. I do watch you guys.
What's happening?
I don't know what's
Are
happening.
you going to box him?
Well, I've done fuck all for the last 3 weeks. So.
Yeah.
I just
Fine.
remember
So it's
that.
Christmas.
Yeah.
It's Christmas.
I was
Yeah,
so
I've
is
been
Casper
saying that
Lee,
since
so you're
October.
right, mate.
Why is Casper? Are they just trying to make something happen for the sake of some views or something?
I'd imagine so.
We have to say.
I don't know if
Don't
we're.
break the illusion.
When's this going out?
Christmas Day.
Oh yeah, it's
By
real.
saying you're not allowed to say
Yeah,
you've said yes
it's
to
real.
fake
It's,
so.
it's real now.
No, it always.
It's real now, but when it's not real anymore, we always do it.
Once they reveal it's not real.
No, genuinely, I think it just looks like a really fake sort of thing.
I saw a
doesn't
tweet
it?
the other day. I thought that hit it on the nail on the head, and it was KSI versus Harry was you like cocaine and ketamine. KSI versus Deji was fucking brother beef or whatever, and then KSI versus Randolph was like literally Deji's a paedophile. These lot have set it up as you didn't flush the toilet.
Yeah.
Like come on.
I do
like,
really
Yeah.
rate that though, because
Yeah.
if the Sidemen beef is fake, they faked accusing Deji of being a paedophile, and that's the new level.
You would have never done that, would you?
No, I don't fake it. I just
Just
generally
really
call people
flat out. The
paedophiles.
amount of people or YouTubers, Alex has outed as paedophiles.
Are you really that guy?
He's nearly in double
Are you
figures.
to catch a predator?
He's going to get his head
It's
kicked in
not
by
that
some
I'm that
nonce one
guy.
day.
So I have a really terrible track record at befriending paedophiles.
Don't say that.
It all makes sense now.
That's why I live. Will lives above me, and Jack's on the podcast with me. So.
We're going to call this JaackMaate and the 11-year-old fan.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Can I just say I am not
No,
a
this is not being a
paedophile.
good
Alright, I am
That
not
word
a
gets-
paedophile.
That's
exactly what I would say.
That's my Twitter bio these days.
True.
What's George like? Everyone always asks me, what does he look like?
It's such a brilliant segue. Paedophiles. How's your roommate? No, George is.
What's he like to live with?
Doesn't really leave his room, does he?
Yeah.
I see Will more than I see George.
Oh, really?
See, when I met him, when he came on the pod last week or whatever, I felt like, because he's got a very distinctive voice, because you can't see him.
Yeah.
And
We
obviously,
never actually saw
you
him
all
without
know
the
him.
mask.
I'd never seen what he actually
Really?
looked like.
Yeah.
So when I met him, I was trying to think, the voice don't match the person. But it doesn't.
Tell you
And
what though, the fucking handshake does. Did you shake his hand?
I think so,
First
yeah.
time I ever shook his hand, he nearly took my hand off.
Really?
Come for
There you go, Beaver.
big bloke.
Can I
He's
just
quite
say-
a serious lad when you talk to him. So when I met you and him in the pub, and he was quite like serious and straight, like you were
I was
an idiot.
I was losing my mind.
He was off his tits when I first met him.
Ketamine?
No, I've heard.
We've all been
you
there.
You told Will that you thought I was on drugs. I wasn't. I was just.
Is that from me?
I didn't say, is he on drugs, William?
Oh, was that the after party?
Honestly,
down his name.
I was
keep him away from
was-
me.
Sell him some later.
Yeah, what I was.
Which one's that
It
one?
was Stephen's fault. So when I first met you, I was losing my mind because Max turned up and he's
Well,
your
Mac-
friend.
yeah.
He's your friend.
He's
so
the
I blame
downfall
you.
of everyone. Not a
Max
paedophile,
Max
by the
turned
way.
up and he encouraged me to do 2 shots of I don't know what it was.
2 shots of ketamine.
To be honest,
It was
it was
like cocaine.
We're going to burn it tonight.
That was an awkward moment because for the entire party, I just felt like I woke up the next day after meeting you, and I woke up outside my apartment, not in
With
it.
him on top of you.
And when I mean outside,
Determined as an ox.
and when I mean outside my apartment, I didn't wake up outside in the apartment building. I woke up, I looked up, and I went, "That's the top of my apartment building."
That's concrete.
Yeah, I was very confused at where I was, and it was like 9 o'clock in the morning. I had no idea what was going on.
You're not normally up there.
I'm not going out that early.
one of the questions we've had about you specifically is you and I like
you
how
friends
everyone
with
gets
so many
worried when I say
pedophiles?
this. The other YouTuber who is called Charles. People are asking, has he fucked you?
What, James Charles?
Yeah.
No, say
JC.
Has he
No,
fucked you?
no,
That
he
was one of
hasn't.
the questions.
I mean, I reckon Alex
journalist
maybe
wrote
be at the
that
top on that.
I uploaded. Well, James, you thought it was very funny, didn't you, Will? Because you were the one who first pointed it out. To
Do you
me.
think
Oh, the fucking
men
got your
with
cock out
men
in the
is
video.
funny, do you, Will? Wow.
What happened?
All
So
cancelled.
I uploaded a video on a YouTuber called James Charles. I was doing a response to something he'd done that was controversial. And I decided to
Good
wear.
man, I guess.
I decided to wear. I mean, I wasn't even tight trousers. You kind of see where this is going. I have a huge cock, basically. Now, I was wearing jeans, but I didn't realise I recorded the first video for the first time ever with my lower half of my body in shot. That was a mistake.
First mistake.
They
That
could
was a
see the
mistake.
Shannon.
Did you have what was it?
I
Quite
wasn't erect. I wasn't like, yes, I get to fucking ruin another YouTuber.
It's obvious. You see the outline of his penis.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
bet he's the one with the big penis.
He's
Not bad at all, really, is it?
He's quite obviously an LGBT YouTuber, James Charles. He does makeup videos.
I've seen him before. Yeah.
Is he the one with the shaved sides of the head, the sort of
Right,
curl over
yes.
the top?
Yeah.
I cannot watch his
Always
videos. He
wearing
just
eye
ends up
makeup.
punching
Flawless
walls.
makeup.
I think
yeah.
I did a reaction to one of his
Yeah.
videos once where he goes, "These are all knockoff products."
Yes.
and he's like really happy with himself.
That would be James.
I remember just being like, "How the hell did I get here?"
I just remember I woke up the next. I checked the real time. I was like, video's doing really well. I didn't read the comments.
All the girls watching.
I try not to. Mainly men, actually. Which I don't.
Typical.
Depends on what you want to take.
Typical.
And then I woke up the
Literally.
next morning to James Charles followed you back, and I was like, oh, cool. Well, at least he didn't take the video badly. And the first DM he sent me was, oh, you got a huge cock.
Wow.
No way.
Yeah,
No
that
way.
was generally-
Seriously.
that was
It's literally,
generally-
it was like I couldn't watch the video. I was too distracted by the
He was
bulge or
too
something.
distracted by the bulge, basically, was what he said. And I read that, and I was
No
like,
fucking way. That must have been the most mental.
Do you know how much money that guy makes though? Fucking just get on.
I read
get
that.
wifed.
Yeah, Will was
He
like,
makes like
Will was like,
fucking a
move
million and
in.
a half a month.
So I read the
Well,
DM.
there's a 700K
Get the
off advert.
mascara.
Let the man talk. He's telling us about a YouTuber
I-
trying
I-
to chat him up.
I read the DM and I was like, hopefully it's not that obvious. I mean, he's a gay man. Maybe he was looking for it. And then I read the comments, and it had like all of them had like 10,000 likes.
Do you have a
It was
big
like,
dick then?
Well, I'd assume so, Jack.
What the thing is,
Well, you don't need to assume. You know, like
on
you
this
know.
table, has anyone else been chatted up by a YouTuber and asked about their dick? Because I'm a bit annoyed now.
What about you?
It's very niche, Brian.
I feel like you're the only one here who's being asked about their dick off another YouTuber.
Vic Star is a lovely guy, and I'll never dob him in. Ryan, that's it.
You'll take that to your grave, Stephen.
What happens at Tomorrowland stays at Tomorrowland.
So hang on. So what was the question? Let's dissect it.
Has a YouTuber ever come on to you?
Right.
Go on, so Alex, you must have had a
Yeah.
That would be the ultimate revenge on Alfie,
She
wouldn't
loves
it?
me. Yeah,
me.
yeah.
And
Talk
the
about
other-
the calendar again.
The
Jack.
other one is all your fault, Jack.
What's that?
Nick.
Oh, Nick Crompton. Yeah.
And
Really?
He loves me.
To be honest with you,
Nick
if
Crompton.
love
you
Nick.
know?
that would have my blessing.
Yeah.
Quite
I
frankly,
don't usually like the gays, but that one I can do.
I think if you'll watch me latest upload, love the gays.
Yes.
Said
Yeah.
it.
I'd
Said-
like to see that chubby little baby.
Exact
Alright?
word. And
Wow, it works.
to be fair to you, you're being offered some good dick there in terms of money, haven't you?
Good tea.
Good CPM and that sperm.
If Keemstar is right, then I will be making those moves.
Well, literally, you could literally suck a dick. For
Keep
us.
an eye out for
Shall I tell the
2019,
story about the
everyone.
Nick Crompton gay prank?
Yeah.
What does
Yeah.
Nick Crompton say?
Because
to
that
you,
is
though?
gold.
What did
not
Nick Crompton
actually
say?
No, Nick messaged Jack and Stevie and was just like, "Oh, Alex is fit, wasn't he?"
Oh yeah. He texted me and was like, like the new pod. Is Alex keen? I was like, he's bi, so he might be.
Well, I mean,
Are
I
you?
just.
Yes, I am. I haven't made it up.
No, I mean, are you keen? Not are you bi? I know you're bi.
That would be fucking great.
Can I just say?
Why do you think George gets all those hickeys?
When he wakes up and he goes, "You're fucking doing it again."
If anyone likes Alex's cock, just leave a like on the video.
Send
Thanks
me
very
DM.
much.
Used to, yeah.
You didn't think you'd be there today,
Keemstar.
did you? You
This
didn't think
is
you'd see
this is
that, though.
exactly where I hoped it would.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
I was the first person that Nick Crompton came out to.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and a funny story. Well,
You're not
maybe-
the most understanding person normally, though.
Well, no, because
Not about that, I just mean
we were in a
generally.
collab channel
Oh, really?
at the time. Yeah, we had a collab channel called Project 6.
Fuck
Joe
me.
Weller was in it for the first week, and then he got the World Cup songs. We fucked off. we never saw him again.
To be fair, Joe Weller,
Bit like Elliot Crawford, to be honest.
you don't. He's one of those people who will. You'll not hear from him for a while. That's just.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's just busy
I've not heard
backing
from
up.
him since that week. So.
I don't know what he said.
What'd you say?
It's a joke about backing up. It's not. Let's not do it now.
I've done it once, I'll leave it.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so you and Nick Crompton are good mates then.
Well, we used to be good pals. Yeah. So
What was that like then?
Well, so I have this weird story,
pain in the
like, and
arse, literally.
I'll be intrigued to see what you guys think of this. Yeah, but in a roundabout kind of way, I think
Would he be okay with you sharing this with us though?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Find out.
I think I am kind of at fault for Jake Paul, bringing Jake Paul to the world. Right?
Wow.
So I'll give you a little bit of lowdown.
Nick hated you so much that he moved to Los Angeles and picked him
Pretty
up
much,
instead.
yeah. So
The Norwich of America.
So I told this in a podcast, but it never went out. So exclusive for you, my friend. But
Enjoy that,
I
bro.
started a collab channel called Project 6, and there was 5 of us, and we needed someone for the 6th day. And Nick Crompton was a fanboy of JaackMaate way back in the day. So pathetic,
Aren't we all?
real pathetic.
Must have
and,
picked up the gay vibes.
So I watched a couple of his videos, and I thought he was quite funny, like a little Peter Kay. He used to do comedy like Northern.
What makes you think he's like Peter Kay?
Like he was just chubby and Northern. So,
I knew that. I just wanted to hear him say it.
Into that after Christmas, I'll
Chubby
be there.
little fun stuff. Okay.
Garlic bread.
He is actually funny as fuck. To be fair.
he's quite
Peter Kay
funny.
or
He's
Nick
quite a funny lad.
I liked it when he did the response video to Bazinga, calling him out, and he turned around in his chair. And I think he might have been stroking a cat or some shit. It was funny.
First time he's touched a pussy. We have fun.
These two absolute bellends.
To be fair, this is going to end up in one of those Instagram videos where it does all the weird transitions.
Next podcast, don't put those two together.
Yeah, we never do. We always shoot EXO separately with those two apart.
Green screen them in.
So Nick's your fanboy.
So I had to convince the other guys on the podcast who was a guy called Chip Daddy, Adam Waif was in it. Yeah, this is going back a few years now.
I'd say he
I had
fell
to
off, but he never got up.
I don't know who these lads are, but
That's the one that JJ said at the
he's
Elliot Crawford. He was like, "You'll be what did he say?"
YouTubers go to die or something.
Adam Wave's channel.
Yeah.
It's called
It was
that.
funny. It's quite a nice
in poor
reference.
taste. It's in poor
But so I convinced those guys to get Nick on the
sounds
channel, and he went to 10k subs, like
Okay.
banged it, and then so he then he then tried to get a job at Social Chain. So obviously you've had Steve Bartlett on the podcast, the guy that runs that.
We've all tried it.
Big daft hat.
I've been there.
For Nick's, what's it called? When you try and get a job, you need to prove yourself.
CV,
Or
resume.
something like that. He basically had
He
to
put
prove.
friends with JaackMaate on it.
Well, he
Can
had
I
to
just say this is the most YouTuber chat we've ever had? What's that thing where you try and get a job? Oh, God, imagine.
Oh, a job?
Yeah.
Pass more alcohol.
That
Let's
was
start
the
another
closest I've ever
podcast.
He had to prove that he could get X amount of traffic to a certain video. So he asked me and Joe, and we pushed some views to this video. So he got the job at Social Chain. Long story short, he landed this great job, and then he called me up when I was in my dad's flat, and he was like, I'm going to move to America. I was like, why are you doing that? You've just got a great job. He was like, oh, there's a Vine star that I'm going to start managing. I was like, who's this? He gave the name Jake Paul. I was like, I've never heard of this guy. So he went over, managed him, made him a big thing. So I think in a weird kind of way,
Your fault, innit?
I'm at fault for Jake Paul.
What did you fucking do?
I made Nick Crompton.
Right.
And he made Jake Paul.
Yeah, and he made Jake Paul.
And Jake Paul.
Ultimately, you made
and
Jake
Nick
Paul.
wouldn't mind me saying that. But there's
You made Jake Paul. We can click that up.
exactly.
And that's why Brian's friends with him now. So technically, you're very good.
You made Brian friends with Jake Paul.
It's
I'm
always
not
2
really his
degrees.
friend,
You're
but
welcome.
I know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I was in a hotel room with Nick Crompton once and
Oh, yeah.
Stevie, who's the other guy on our podcast.
That's 3
And
The
this-
other one.
This is
The
for-
forgotten man. He's not here today.
He hasn't got
as
enough
you can
fucking
see.
subscribers to get on this show. Let's be honest.
This is before Nick came out. So he's in the opposite room, and then I said to Stevie, I was like,
trimming his
when
fingernails.
Shut up, you two. Fucking hell.
I was like, when Nick comes through, let's leave the door slightly ajar, and we'll be in bed, and we'll take our clothes off and just pretend that we're up to something, right?
So Nick jumped right in.
Right, as YouTubers, right, it's all fake. So we let Nick know what we were going to do. We let
As
him know.
YouTubers,
And
nothing we do is
yeah,
ever
it's-
real.
It was fake. It was from my second channel years ago. It's silly. And then Nick comes in, and then he goes, "We're in bed," and he goes, "Guys, you ready?" He goes, "What the fuck you doing? What the fuck you?" And he acted really offended at the fact that 2 boys were in bed, and then all the comments turned against him and were like, "You're a homophobic bastard. You're a homophobic."
He
and then a
is.
month later, he come out as gay. So I say he's not actually gay, but he's just come out as gay to hide the fact that he's actually homophobic.
He's just kept that going all this time. Well, I've got
Every time
to.
he's having sex, he's like, I hate this. I hate it. There's a mum in going, why are you balling socks like that? It's horrible.
Yeah. That sounds amazing. Genuinely.
No, Nick can manage me if he wants, and I mean that.
Oh, no.
New Year's resolution.
I mean, to be honest with you, if
Try
I
something
was
new.
going to go
Get
that
a
way,
blodger off
if
me.
I was going to go that way, top of the list, Nick
Is
Crompton.
he?
Yeah, well,
If I was going to go gay, I'd go for Zac Efron.
Yeah.
So as you mean to carry on.
I'd go for Zach also.
If you want,
is Zac Efron gay?
if I was gay,
Just for the record, it requires the other person to also.
Shabby
want
Alonso.
Is he?
Fuck
Is
it
he
hell.
gay?
We've all thought.
But he's the fittest man I've ever seen.
Why do you keep drinking that?
This mixer for the vodka.
He's not
okay.
putting in
That I
it.
do not need.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
That's like the Rolf Harris setup I saw a few years ago.
No.
Don't bring him up.
It's nice watching this from the outside, this podcast.
Oh yeah.
I've never touched a kid apart from my nephew.
That's not a good response.
And he cries when I touch him.
There's going to be a lot of editing on this one.
Nah, I'll be fine.
Nah, keep
Everyone
it in.
knows he's.
Is there any more alcohol?
Just like I say to my girlfriend, keep it in.
Is there any? I'd really like something else to drink.
Yeah.
I think another one of my friends is going to be a
the options
paedophile.
are. I think we've got gin, vodka with mixers. We've got beers.
Do we get whiskey?
I'll
Yeah,
take
bring
it.
We've
him
got
through,
whiskey.
Stephen.
We've got
Yeah.
whiskey. We've got cider.
Stephen, bring the whiskey out, because I need a little.
Bring out the whiskey. I'll have a beer, please. If you bring out a beer for me, thank you.
Does anyone else want food? I'm just checking.
Yes, would fucking love some.
Yeah.
Yeah, grab us a strongbow, Stephen.
I saw Jack first.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
As Jack was my first friend on YouTube.
When Jack
We'll
drinks
have
it,
food after though.
Yeah.
when Jack drinks it, perfectly normal. When I drink it, oh look at that fucking dickhead.
I always drink this.
Yeah, I know. But say that.
I don't say that.
Say-
Say it. Then.
Help me.
Highlights of the year, lads. What are the highlights of the year? People are asking.
Probably starting
I've already
next
said fucking Croatia.
Yeah.
Kieran Trippier banging at top
There you
right.
go.
Do you
Um,
Punch Chris MD's.
They're saying on
girlfriend in the eye when I'm
YouTube.
in.
Good girl.
Bit
I don't want
of free
fucking
promo.
When
for
you
Bud Light.
said, Stephen, when you said bring out
Yeah, I'll
beer,
have one.
I can't do the packaging. I'll let Lawrence do that.
Do you want some?
So far the highlights
Great.
we've got written down from people on Twitter.
Yeah.
Logan Paul, everything he did. KSI versus Joe, KSI versus Logan. Rise of Ninja, that YouTuber who did that thing with his
Lil Tay was my
Are we
fucking
not going to
highlight.
talk about Will's hat, for fuck's sake?
Little Tay, that kid who did that thing with his 13-year-old sister where he pretended like
He's
she was
there!
No, that was weird.
No, that was his mate.
What was that? What happened? Because I didn't actually see that one.
She's actually
touched the
another
right.
YouTuber called Millie T.
Yeah.
He's just a fucking wind-up version. I kind of rate him for it. He just plays the game for
Oh.
more attention. Because he's
Crawl out, Will.
His videos are shit, but fucking his thumbnails are so obscene. It makes attention.
The thing is,
think
I
with-
wasn't tuned in, so you could be talking about 90% of
I mean,
YouTubers.
that'll probably.
Intuitively, the Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I think with him though, I think he is the
Fucking
single
naked,
worst
go on, let's
YouTuber
see.
on the platform. Like I would say that above anyone else. Because there's like.
Him at somewhere in the city.
Yeah, well, I walked past him and then he made a video going, "Oh, he didn't say nothing to my face." I was like, "Well, neither did you." We literally walked past each other in a corridor. But I think he is the
just pop it on the floor, Steve.
single worst person on the platform.
If
Who's
I
the
met
guy
a
who
YouTuber I didn't like, I'd get my dad to stand next to him and intimidate him.
Can we?
Brian will save me.
He's not a YouTuber. He's an Instagram star.
Can we?
Who's that?
Can we understand why you think he's the worst YouTuber that there is? And
Is this-
what's it?
Do you not agree, Will?
I've not seen this kid, so
Is this Carney?
Yeah.
I get that he's bad, but it's just so bad that it's almost like he kind of accepted it.
what?
and plays
Like
the game.
you
Like,
admire
I
the? Do you like the
respect how bad
shithousery?
he is.
Is it the shithousery that you like?
I get that.
It's because he's so like unapologetic, so
Yeah.
he'll like just do it and go, "Yeah, I know I'm a cunt," like
But
that.
at the same time, it's like it's bad in the terms of like it's misleading and stuff. But I mean, I do think that there's obviously no form of. I don't understand a couple of those videos and be like, "I'm really happy that this did well." But there are
It's not great
definitely
luck, is it?
there are worse people. There are
so no,
definitely
did
worse.
He's
the
not a
bleach.
bad person either.
That
like,
was
he's
that
quite
was
nice
Carney. That was Carney.
Was that
Because when I met his friends at one of the, I think it was actually the Sidemen All Stars game. I met his friends and he wasn't there.
really
And
well
that-
commentated event.
Yeah, and it was good.
Ben and Millie?
No, it was Elmo Films and that
He's
lot.
a nice guy.
And he's a lovely bloke.
So who is
Elmo
And they-
the
they-
worst
Luther King on his
YouTuber then?
merch.
Like the single worst YouTuber.
Worst YouTuber
Yeah.
in terms of stuff that they've done.
Just who would you say is the worst YouTuber?
Shut up, Stephen.
I'm trying to think. I think the worst thing that happened last year, because we did the podcast on it.
Yeah.
Not to slightly promote it, but we did the podcast on it, and we said that it was either Daddy05.
Yeah.
Or it was the person who believed that if they put a book in front of their head and fired a handgun for it, that they'd survive.
Yeah, that was very good.
What?
He died.
Did you not know that?
What?
Did you not know that?
Girlfriend and boyfriend that were trying
So
to make a
they
video
were trying to go
see if a bullet
viral.
would
So
stop
a girl.
Took him
he-
to the bullet.
he-
And it obviously didn't. He died.
He puts 2 books in front of his chest and he goes to his girlfriend. Fire the fucking Desert Eagle.
Mate.
Fair fucks drum though. If they upload that, that's a banger.
Yeah.
Well, literally, it was a
It's a
banger.
banger.
Did he die?
It went through the books and into his chest, killed him. She's fucking in fucking
went
jail or
down for
whatever.
ransom,
Yeah.
What?
How did
They
you
shouldn't
say
assume
That's
his
4 mil
gender.
views each.
Coming soon to the JaackMaate
When
YouTube
did this
channel.
happen? Yeah.
Girlfriend kills boyfriend in order to go viral.
The
When
thing
did that
is, you
happen?
could quite
Fair
easily
jack, you're
you could quite easily upload
That's
that
all I
on the
do, though,
TGF
mate.
channel.
No one
and
gives a
that's
fuck.
it.
It'll be fine.
I just done a video on
Put that
YouTube
up.
Rewind 3 weeks late.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
it.
That happened. I think that was this year. Actually, weirdly, an Indian YouTuber just died, and I checked his.
Oh, car crash or something. On Brentford.
Yeah, and it was weird because
The traffic's terrible in
on
Delhi.
Bread Batch. Shout out to the Bread Batch Instagram page because they cover a lot.
Why is that so funny?
He's just fucking killed it, hasn't he?
Oh, don't say that phrase, Brian. Watch your words.
Yeah.
You'll never get on Good Morning Britain with that.
If Tyson Fury can do it, I think I've got a chance.
Dosser.
Dosser! I love that word.
Who's your person of 2018?
Fuzzy
Good
Tube.
question, that.
No,
Good
Fuzzy
question.
Tube was an
Good
interesting
question.
one.
Good question.
not for that one.
Fuzzy Tube was an interesting one.
Who, Brian,
Maguire.
Brian, person of the person
What,
of
like
the year.
from YouTube specifically?
No, in the world.
general.
In the public eye
Fucking
though.
hell, I've not
Not
taken
your neighbour
about this.
Doris.
I don't know.
We'll come back to you.
Can I ask you a question? Because you guys are all sort of.
Well, he's already
reaction
asked one,
guys.
so shall we answer that one then?
Shit question. So,
Laurence! That's
do
on
you
camera.
guys ever end up feeling sorry for the person that you've taken the piss out of?
You asked me this on the
Yeah.
last podcast.
Yeah, but these
No.
new
Ask
ones are
Alex
here,
and-
bigger
and-
subs.
What about you?
Occasionally, I'm trying to think of the last one. I think because sometimes I do videos where I'll kind of go half and half. I'll be like, "Well, you're a bit of a prick, but also I don't think you're that much of a prick." And sometimes you
And you
know,
have your prick on show.
and that's normally when I do it. Normally I get my cock out so I don't actually pay attention to what I
Here's a
say.
question. What is the problem between you and Keemstar? Because I
it's a long
personally, my experience with Keem has been fine. Like, I think he's been fine with me, whatever. But yous have had a dislike for ages. It seems like there's
it's very weird because it's one of those things where I look at Keem and I'm like, I still don't know if it's real. Does that make sense? Yeah. I look at Keem and I'm like, does he actually hate me? Or is it like... Cause
playing with you.
That's always what he's done. So I always took it as that, to be fair. I always took it as like, pinch salt, I was like 50% he does it because maybe he doesn't like what I've said, 50% he does it because of the fact that he knows that people will enjoy it, because they do enjoy it.
It's funny when he talks shit about people.
Yeah, it is funny because I watched him. I've watched him before, so I could understand
Falling
it.
for the trap.
It's one of those things where I remember it all started because of the fact that at the beginning, when I had like 4,000 subscribers, he did a video. He did the Baited podcast, which I don't know if that's around anymore. And he called one.
You're not friends with him anymore, are you?
No, we're not friends. He called one of my friends at the time. He said that he was untalented. And at the time, I thought he was actually the most talented out of all of us.
But he wasn't paid.
He wasn't a paedophile. I will say that. But I basically did a video saying that literally, it was a very simple video. I just went, I don't agree with you. Here's why, and that was it. It wasn't. I don't think it was necessarily mean or anything. And he did an entire 2-hour live stream on me. And from that point, it's just kind of got out of hand.
You've just loved
That's
the
how you got a
attention.
million subs, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all from King.
Yeah.
No, it's one of those things where I disagreed with him once. He didn't agree with me, and from that point onwards,
I did find it a bit
constantly
weird
gone
because
back
that
and forth.
was the first thing I said about him on the pod. I just said he doesn't research his news, and then he done a whole fucking Twitter video about me and said that I had frosted tips.
Bloody.
That was funny. I think you and Keem.
Tips.
Yeah,
You don't
I was
research a
down
lot.
for weeks.
You don't research at all. It's fucking terrible. What's the first thing I can see? His hair. Brilliant. You got frosted
just
fucking
said
hair,
it,
mate, you
scissors.
fucking dickhead.
Fiona comes in. Come on, Jackie.
In the
He's
car,
done it.
I was in the car with Fiona yesterday, and I read an article and it said bleached hair coming in for men next year. And Fiona straight away went, "Well, tell Keemstar that." I went, "Who the fuck is this bitch?"
Well, the thing is, this is the best thing about Keem is the fact that one of the things I critiqued him for is that he always goes, he never goes against what you've said. He goes for a personal jab. So my mate James replied to not James Charles. My mate James Marriott replied to
He
his.
took your dick out of his mouth and he went, "I'm going to sort him out."
The thing is,
He didn't have to take it out of his mouth. To be fair to him, he left it in the mouth.
I would say I'd like to disagree, but my mate James Marriott did a video where he replied to Keem, and Keem replied saying, "That's funny. It obviously couldn't be you who wrote it." The funny thing is, it was me who actually told him to do the joke. So then James does a video where he goes, "Oh, it was all Alex. So you've just complimented the guy who you apparently hate."
That is funny.
So Keem then replies again. Can't remember what he said. So we do a and it was about the whole sucking off. Oh, it was about the whole I suck people off of views. So we did a video where James goes, "I've got less subscribers than Alex, and you know, why does he talk to me?" And halfway through the video, I appear from his crotch.
He's bisexual.
Because I love men. So I appear from his crotch, and I just go, "Am I doing a good job?" And then James puts his hand away and he pushes me back down again. He goes, "Carry on," and the video ends. And King went, "That's funny. You couldn't cut that yourself." And then he goes, and then he made some comment about the fact that I was like, and obviously you got baited because of the fact that he's bisexual. And I was like, it's not a bad thing, Daniel. You can't. Don't go homophobic. That's a step too far.
I like when you call him Daniel. That is quite mean.
The only reason why I do that is his fault. We spoke once in a Discord call.
Look at that sweep of the fringes.
I know. There we go.
It's his fault.
I'm fucking getting
I know what this point is, you little cunt.
Mine's a greasy little
We
mess.
spoke once on a call, and he said, and I called him Daniel. As just as a joke, I was like, let's pretend that we're best mates. So I was like, all right, Daniel, how are you doing? And he went, "Don't ever call me Daniel again. If you call me Daniel," he's like, "we're not friends. We'll never be friends." And I went, "All right, Daniel." And he went, "No, don't do that. I really don't like it." So from that point onwards, I've always called him Daniel.
Can you imagine a grown man getting annoyed at someone using
This
his
is the
name?
best thing about the whole Keem saga is the
Would you
fact that
fucking call me?
every time Keem tweets me, my dad sends me a message and goes, "Why is a man my age talking to you on the internet?" And
Was your dad a young shagger?
Yeah. Just to be fair, why is your dad following Keemstar?
Does your dad call you on Discord? How does your dad contact you? Discord or
No,
what?
he doesn't Discord. He doesn't Twitter DM me. No, but it's very weird. It's very odd having to explain to your dad.
What does your
why...
dad think about you doing YouTube?
For a 12-year-old.
I mean,
What does your dad think about you being friends with nonsense?
I know,
We're
but
really going to go into
I don't
it. Like.
befriend
No, what-
people because they're paedophiles.
What does your dad think about you being a YouTuber generally?
I think at first I thought it was terrible, and then
Then
when
you got
my
signed by Bournemouth and everything was alright.
fuck off.
He's gay, but he plays football, so it's all right.
He knows
Dad
Callum,
says
he knows
down the
Callum.
pub.
he was pink, but hold on.
He wears those rainbow laces every week, doesn't he?
I think the worst part is when Will and George thought it was a very funny idea to leak my earnings. That's when my dad got some form of respect for me.
Me and George didn't leak it. I said it in a
Yes, you
podcast.
did.
How
And then
does
you
every-
edited the podcast.
How
and
does
uploaded
everybody
it.
know that you earned 50
So I've
grand?
seen these fucking hands.
It's-
More than that now.
What
He's so
He's
funny.
offended you said that. It's like 70 now.
The man
Yeah.
talk, he's saying something important for us.
I did a joke tweet because Will was banned off Twitter the other day, and I did a tweet about Will donating all his earnings to
Is that not
YouTube.
you?
From YouTube, or about like
Are you kidding?
and people are
It's
going,
charity. I'm not a wet wipe.
and people are like, oh,
Jeremy's a big
enjoy
donor.
that $3 or that £3. I think fuck off. Times that by 1,000, and then you're close.
Yeah.
That's not even before the merch sales.
He's had a beer.
But no, he's doing well for himself. Congrats.
Stephen tries is in his fucking element.
No,
ladies and
I was
gentlemen.
trying to play.
You're
Will-
welcome.
I was trying to play Will at a game of FIFA the other day. And I was trying to play Will at a game of FIFA, and every 5 minutes he gets this cha-ching sound effect come through his phone for every time he sells a t-shirt.
Oh really?
Yeah.
You fucking
From the
cunt.
merch store.
You absolute fucking cunt.
Another $34.
I cannot believe. Is that real?
Mate, it's like getting a textbook, but like 10 times.
No,
better. You're
and
like, well, this is great. That's
We should get more
To
excited
be
for your
fair,
girlfriend or
if every
that.
time I got a ringtone
obviously
noise,
that.
Yeah,
if
brilliant.
every time I got a ringtone noise, it was an extra 30 fucking quid, I probably would be quite
Well, it's obviously
happy.
not 30 quid, no, your margins and that.
And then he gets a text from his manager John saying, "Yeah, mate."
We're eating lots of lunch.
And then Ollie White's like, "Way, come on, keep it going, baby." All of a sudden, Ollie White's promoting WillNE's merch on Instagram. Look, if you like WillNE so much, just keep buying this shit. Shovel it.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
That's good, because it's ironic because he's got a shovel.
That's the trailer.
Yeah.
That's cracking.
That's good.
Boys, person of 2018.
Yeah,
Let's go,
good
Laurence,
question. Let's
go.
go back to it.
Alright, we'll give it
Straight
Ollie White.
Keemstar's got to be up there for me. He's really changed the community.
He's one of my
I was
mates.
the community. Was that mean?
Mine's Deji.
Is it?
Yeah, I think he's done well for
He's been at the
himself.
centre of everything.
Yeah.
And he's really played the character well.
Yeah.
The thing
You
is,
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know
Mongrel.
upset KSI, but I've never understood Deji. Like, he always seems to be. He seems to say the wrong thing. Like, I feel like JG watches him and goes,
The thing is,
That's
I
the most
can
He says
agree
the
with
wrong
that because when I went to the first Sidemen party I ever went to, everybody ignored me, but Deji was the only person who came up to me, so that's why I knew.
He
he was
spoke
right.
to
He's
me.
the only one
He
who
is
hasn't made a
nice.
video.
He is
It's
nice.
lovely when you
Deji knows how to pick the victim and then makes himself look a bit better.
Everybody else,
Oh, literally,
everybody else pretended I didn't exist, but Deji came up to me and hugged me. So I was like,
He
I
went,
know
"You're
that I'm
scum.
not accepted.
You're scum. I'll look good next to you.
To be fair though, Deji was always very friendly, whether he knew who you were or
He
not.
was
which
nice
I-
to me, yeah.
Yeah, I quite liked.
I thought that this whole beef thing was going to calm down. I was like, all right, that's it. It's over and done with. Deji uploads a reaction. All right, Stephen. Deji
Jesus, that's going in a Seth Rocky video.
Forced it down me, Brian.
You were gagging on that, Stephen.
Like I was giving a batty job.
Some sloppy toppy going on there, wasn't there?
How are they going to edit this?
Do you know, it's a good. Let's just say, I'm fucking happy we didn't do this for XO because half of it would be gone.
Just do an ImAllexx.
But you're happy
By
to
the
put it
way,
on your
we're
channel.
sponsored by the wonderful brand Xbox.
What was I
Thank
even
you, One
talking
Football,
about?
for sponsoring this tweet.
Oh no,
He's gonna be the
Deji. In Deji's latest video, he did a reaction to KSI's music video, and I was like, all right, it's calmed down now. He's probably going to turn it around and be like, oh, it's all over, and not. He just opens up with about 2-3 minutes just slating Randolph, and you're like, no, this isn't fake. Like, not in his head. Not whatever people think.
The
Randolph
reason
has
when I
bars.
realised, like, obviously I took it at a pinch of salt originally, but when I watched
You take a lot of things with a pinch of salt. What's your sodium level, mate?
Well, you say it's salt.
it's not salt, Stephen. Not salt. But when I watched it the first time, I was like, if JJ doesn't respond, then it has to be real.
Yeah.
That was really.
Do you have
the way
any
I took
kind
it.
of beef with Deji then, or not? Because obviously you had all those podcasts come out, not the Deji one. So I didn't ever speak to you about this, but from an outsider's point of view, I thought there must be some kind of...
No, actually, I get on well with him when I see him in person.
Really?
But there was
There's
a
a few
moment
tweets,
where
wasn't
there was a moment where I only was supposed to have Logan and JJ, but Jake,
Good ones.
Jake came with Logan,
You thought
and in my
feuds.
head I'm like, all right, son,
Yeah.
all right,
That's 2
we'll do
million
the brother
views.
and then the other one.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was and then it didn't. I'd messaged Edgy a while back, and I was like, oh, if you've got time. He never replied, and I was like, all right, then no problem. I'll just do these 3, and then I'll put them out, and that's it.
Right,
You know what
fair.
I mean?
Yeah.
So
Jake was a good podcast on.
What would you, but it was your 100th, and people seem to take
people
it
were well pissed off that Jake
Find a
Paul
problem with
was
it.
me 100th, but in my head I thought, fuck it. You know what I mean?
Some people thought, just to be clear, in the background, maybe you should have done a podcast with the person who helped you set it all up. The person who said, "Yeah, sure, I'll partner
No,
with
for
you."
the
Con was busy that day.
for the 100th
The owner of
podcast.
Brave Bison was busy that day, so
Fucking slash football.
For the
Thank you
100th
to you
podcast, you
guys.
should have brought on all the girls you've ever spoken about on the entire
Only
podcast.
gal, it's only one girl. He's a loyal honey.
yeah,
Iskra Laurence, man.
That's it.
she's the Galdem, as Brian says.
Is she single at the
The-
moment?
the- I don't know, but the lads for XO Boys gave me an Iskra Laurence calendar for 2019. So thanks, boys.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
James Lawrence Alcott. Great channel. Go
Shout
subscribe
out,
to that.
shout
right
out.
now. James Lawrence Alcott organised that.
Can I
It's
just
really
say
great channel.
July? That's a good month.
It's a cracking batty, if we can put that out there.
I think I'm getting a bit too much
A
with
new
that.
question.
Yeah.
Who is
Whose
now you-
podcast is this, Stephen? Keep going. Keep going, you little cunt. I love it. You're making my life way easier. Keep going.
We're not an XO anymore, my friend.
I think you know, a lot of you are in relationships, but who is your like hall pass? Hall pass.
Who's your hall
lady?
pass?
I went with
Nick
Oh,
Crompton.
go on,
Nick
go.
Crompton.
Anybody with more subscribers than me. I'll take any of them.
Technically,
Jobs two at a time.
Keemstar is in that list, you know.
Yes.
Stephen,
bracket.
that really feels like that's your question if you feel like it's not going well. Like, I'll just bring up the whole pass.
I love the whole pass question.
It's such a
Love it.
random
There's a whole
question
pass,
again.
like,
What's
who
your
you can
favourite
fucking
sandwich?
Who your girlfriend or boyfriend would allow you to fuck
Yeah.
if they came
She doesn't
along?
have a choice. If Rihanna's game and horny, which I imagine she is, given her Barbados heritage.
Where the fuck is this?
Barbadian. Come on.
Barbadian, sorry. Rihanna, if you are watching, and you are, then get Pondy me cock.
You're better than that.
Will
You're
it-
better than that.
I'm not at all.
You've known him long enough now, yeah.
People hold me in high esteem for some reason. I'm nowhere near.
Do you know what's really funny? When I first met Stephen, he was this quiet, sort of young lad. I've just look what I've done to him.
Yeah.
Look what I've done to him.
Ketamine and the girlfriends changed him round.
Yeah.
I'll shag a honey badger at this point.
Oh. Will, who's your hall pass?
Jenna Coleman.
Oh yeah.
Big fan.
Oh, the Doctor
Big
Who girl.
round-headed bitch.
They'll
She's going to be so into you after that.
We go to a dad. Watch this.
famous YouTuber.
Big round-headed bitch.
That's what Mia calls it.
I'm a celebrity contender. So what she's done, what Mia's done to you, is when they know that you like a girl, they have to brainwash you to not like her. So then they have a term of an endearment, and it's big round-headed bitch.
That is literally exactly what Mia calls
What about
it.
you? Have you got a whole pass? Anyone who you like? You ultimate like your who's your dream?
I've been told not to message James Charles again.
Why?
Because of the fact the first message me and James Charles have ever exchanged is about my cock.
Yeah.
So
would you?
I've heard his ad revenue is very good.
I would.
The thing is, though, surely he's a bit of a pretty boy. Is that what you would go for?
I mean, when I looked at him, I was like, you know, he could be female, it could be male. Depends on how much makeup he's wearing.
No,
so.
he does look like a person who could dress either way. Do you know what I mean? Like, because his appearance is he's a pretty boy. So
No,
he
he is.
could dress up as like a woman and you wouldn't
He's
know.
a feminine
Do you know
man.
what I mean?
I'm just more worried that he'll see this and then he'll write me off.
Brian, you'll see his, his cock.
No, James Charles, when I watch his makeup videos, and I watch him all the time because I love makeup.
It's a good wank for you, isn't it?
Oh my god.
He's had a
Lawrence, every now and then.
Fucking respect.
Lawrence, do you have a hall pass or is it Shabby?
Shabby's probably.
Oh, Shabby's my hall pass as
When
well.
we met Shabby Alonso, it was the most. I saw him in the other room, and I genuinely remember looking at him interviewing by someone else, and I remember thinking.
I believe it was that shit channel.
Should I ask you out on a date?
I remember thinking, you're not enjoying this.
I remember you thinking, that's going to peak at 45k views, mate. Get over it.
You were there, weren't you, Stephen?
I was there.
What was Laurence like?
Well, not
What
been
was
like.
what was Laurence like around that?
I was. Laurence was also a bit nervous, but that's because he's your hero, isn't he?
That was
Shabby Alonso
it was
is.
genuinely a peak where I thought, I'm so glad that I hung out with these cunts for such a long time.
I'm not good with empathy, but I could see like Shabby Alonso is
Not
just.
good with empathy.
It was a really good
Like
video, though.
true-
I watched
true
it, and it was a
psychopath.
good video. Yeah.
I just remember thinking, if there was one thing that I want to get across today, it's that
I want to.
I took a.
Well, I could tell you.
complete step
I
back
could
to
tell you.
have
I could tell
nothing.
you this actually. Ever since
okay.
WillNE met Edison Cavani,
Big,
he's
beautiful
only
man,
ever
isn't
played his PSG on FIFA.
That is class.
So the thing was, this year, Will and I, the first
Mate,
XO
he
video
was
we shot
sexy
together,
as fuck.
and the whole time he was taking the picture, he was squeezing our shoulders, wasn't he? So
He was a handsome man, wasn't he?
Meanwhile,
he
yes,
like
very.
fucking
Yeah.
passed me your hand when I went to meet him. He went like this.
yes, sir.
And I was like, Edison just shaggers on the
class.
table now.
Yeah.
Class,
Meanwhile,
yeah.
we got the F2.
Yeah.
We got the short
Just
straw.
grown to love and
We
love.
got the short straw that
Thing
day.
is, though, in the long run, F2 versus XO played out as a story.
It did,
fucking
yeah.
Watch WillNE go.
The annoying thing is, if we'd shown the full footage that day, I think we actually held our own massively. When it was heads and volleys,
To be fair,
we were good.
they did weak foot penalties. To be fair,
To be
yeah,
fair, I can't
next year,
remember.
XO versus PSG is going to fucking bang. So
What about? Have you got a hall pass?
Jack's got Ollie White, Alfie Days, and Zoella in his.
What is this? Anyone or
You can fuck anyone as long as the missus
not
would
pick
like
Ollie,
allow
let's
it.
be
Sort
I
of thing.
actually really quite like the one that Jake Paul used to be with.
What's
What's her name?
Alyssa.
Erica
I love a
Costello.
blonde.
White-
yeah,
Erica
yeah.
or
White-
Alyssa?
Not Erica.
Alyssa.
Yeah,
The one who's
yeah.
trying to with
Yeah.
face.
Jack,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, she seems like a bit of a cunt.
Yeah, but you haven't got to worry about that in the moment.
I like.
That's true.
The thing
Yeah,
is, she
yeah.
wasn't my type by any means, but I thought Erica
she's
came
wearing the
across
gym mask,
as
she
a
got
really
off.
nice girl. That Erica, that's and apparently they've got beef as well. You know, like
Beef flaps.
Alyssa's been throwing shade at Erica.
I don't know why it doesn't seem natural when you get excited about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like you
I'm
just
not
sitting there going, Erica's got beef. It's like, you don't give a fuck.
To be honest with you, the only time I get excited is when I look at their Instagram.
Brian? Do you have a? You don't need a hall pass. But
Oh,
if there's anyone that you needed a hall pass for,
Aside from Iskra, I'd say.
I think Iskra's my sort of my main, and then you've got to have a whole
can I
pass
be
on
clear?
top of
If
that.
you were with Iskra Lawrence, would you lock yourself down to one person?
Yeah,
Who's that?
So it'd be
I would
Iskra
marry
Lawrence.
Iskra.
I don't know who that is.
So
Oh,
Iskra
really?
Lawrence is a what most people term as a plus size model.
But she's
Oh,
fit.
I think
you're
she's just
liking her a lot on Insta.
So
I mean,
what?
yeah.
What, Lauren?
You can go
What?
on the live stream. You
Yeah.
can go on the live stream, and
Yeah.
I guarantee you'll flick through, and within one
Yeah.
flick, Brian will be there.
What?
having,
Yeah.
like,
What Lawrence
the
is trying to
bravery of
say.
that.
Lawrence is trying to say is, if Iskra Lawrence DM'd you, would you replace him on the podcast?
So there's times where we'll be on the kickoff, and you know when it's like you have a quiet moment when nothing's really happening on the football, and I'll just be like, and I'll just hit double tap it.
Honestly, there are times where I look over when we're recording something and Brian has gone from, I'll go, Brian, bring up the offers. And he'll go, yeah, I'll bring up the offers. And I'll just
I
see him
love the
flicking
bravery
through
of
And
that,
Lawrence
though.
goes,
Yeah.
"That's not my Instagram."
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
It's-
is a
it's
horrible
hard though,
story,
you know.
yeah. But my dad got Insta about 2 years ago,
Brilliant.
and he just like tweets every now and then.
Yeah.
And then someone tweeted me and went, "You need to get your dad off Twitter. Look
Yeah.
at his likes." And I went on his likes. He's just liked loads of porn videos.
Yeah.
Like, Dad, can you?
See,
fucking
I wish
stop that,
I
man?
wish
Can
I
you-
had
can
that
you
problem, but
Your
all my
dad is a good-looking bloke, though, isn't he?
He is.
I saw that
Especially
yesterday.
back in the day, there was a picture of your
Was it
dad
yesterday, yeah.
with you as a young
Yeah.
kid,
Yeah.
and I remember looking, thinking, your dad was a good-looking bloke.
Top tucked
the
into
fuck
the pants.
happened?
Yeah,
Oh,
techno
Lawrence.
written like that.
yeah. Brian looked
Yeah.
at it and went, "That's what my whole part."
Iskra, Jack's dad.
So weird.
Oh
This
yeah.
podcast.
Hugh,
That
was
is- that is the weirdest thing I thought.
This is the most bisexual podcast we've ever done.
loving it, loving
Yeah.
it.
I always thought I was gay for a
Trisexual.
long time because my sister convinced me. She went, "You're gay," and I took off my Tigger slippers and I hit her with them really hard. But no,
A girl
for-
once thought I was gay just by how I looked. She was like, "Oh, I thought you
bear.
were overcompensating, and you were one of
Do
those."
you know what? I don't
bears."
look at you and I think, "Do you know what? The True Geordie's gay."
Actually, weirdly, most girls that have been attracted to me in my life have been bisexual because they always tell me I either go for a really girly girl or a really manly man.
And they look at you and they go, "You're a really girly man."
Obviously, 100%. What else are we saying?
If you had to switch Loz for any other co-host, who would you go for?
It's a great question.
Hello, Brian.
It don't,
To be fair, you do have two other people that.
but it doesn't have
It's
to be a
definitely not
YouTuber.
Cam
It
Kirk,
can
let's
be like
get
a
that shit.
celebrity.
Well,
or
no, so
something.
for example,
James is good.
when you were selecting your co-host, I suggested
Yeah.
your girlfriend. I thought
right.
she would have been good.
And that's why
Didn't think
Yeah.
of
You were
the
second
politically
choice for
correct
me.
people.
Well, when
If it
he
was up to me, you wouldn't even be in the happy hour.
Yeah.
All right.
well, he's
Didn't think of the politically correct
As
answer,
I've
which
said,
is, I could never replace Laurence.
I would be a great left winger on XO. So you know, if you ever need me, I will trade Jack out.
really pushing for that.
I-
Get a bit
I would,
desperate now.
I need it. I really need it.
If I had to replace Laurence, it would be with a woman because I feel like
I can wear it.
women. That's why I said you and your girlfriend because there isn't a lot of man-woman partnerships on YouTube at all that are good in my opinion.
Man
There's a
should
gap.
never lay with man.
There's a gap in the market there.
And every single one that is
lay on
good,
top
Jack's
of that.
made a video on.
Very true.
Pretty much.
Don't say that to
Chris
me
Higgins
when
was a
you
lovely
do
bloke.
that
Why you
kind of
take him down?
content.
Oh,
Wow,
Chris
you are
MD.
so off the podcast. No, you're not. You are going big. I need you.
Chris
I
MD,
need
not
you.
Chris MD.
Oh, right. Two very different people.
Yeah, very.
sorry.
Well,
Do you know what I often think though is it is weird how people pair up because you could have had such a different. You could be at 2 million subscribers now. You've got me. But there could be so many different.
I think about that every day.
Yeah,
Stephen could still be living out his
good
ones.
wanks. But to be fair,
So I will, thanks,
it
yeah.
would be a really weird, different route if you'd gone down the route of someone who you went, oh, that guy matches my views perfectly. I'll just go down that route.
I did think about that and I thought, God, that would be fucking terrible.
Unfortunately,
Another
not in the
me.
1930s.
yeah, but then you two weren't.
But then I realised how
Podcast quite
unique
well.
I was, how original I was. I thought there's no chance of that.
Yeah.
Go the other way. But genuinely, do you know what I thought when I was trying to find a podcast, guy to do the podcast with? I only thought of you, and it was because I thought, I've done enough work for one lifetime. Who's the person who'll make us feel the least like actual work?
Actual work.
And I just think dicking around with your mate is like, that's what we're here for, lads.
That's
to
it.
avoid work.
I'd be
And merch sales for Ollie White.
We'd only met once before we did the podcast. Do you know that?
Really?
Bollocks.
Really?
No, so we met once when we did the
It was a
Christmas
chance meeting
we
in
did the
B&Q.
Christmas
That's
stream.
bollocks, man.
Once. When else did we met?
Christmas stream, what are you on about?
So there was a stream.
Do you
that
mean
we
meet
did.
in person?
There was meet in person.
Really?
So there was a stream that we
You
did.
did all the slash football
I thought,
shit
yeah, when
before
you
the
did that
podcast.
football thing when you went
Yeah,
around
that's not in
Europe.
person.
No,
No, that was
the
at the
podcast
same
was
time.
Before that.
football thing
No,
was
but
before.
so I'd met you a few times in London. We also did the Sidemen. Sidemen charity match, the first
No,
one.
but
When
what
we
I
got
mean is
banned
before-
from it.
Before we became as a pair,
Oh,
where
yeah.
we did things together, we'd only met once, and we met on the day. And I remember taking the train to Southampton and being like,
That
I
was
don't actually know what we're going to do
To
here,
be-
but
to
we
be
both
fair,
text each
that was
other.
good fun. though.
I don't find that so weird because me and Jack. Actually, the first time me and you ever actually met was when we did the first.
When we did
fucking
the pilot.
episode.
Yeah, so we'd only
Yeah.
we'd only texted, and Brian literally we text each other and gone, yeah, it'll be fine, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And we literally turned up on the day and went. And
That,
then we
that
got off and we
Sidemen
went,
charity
yeah, it
match
fine.
was one of the
Yeah.
funniest.
Yeah, it
That
was good.
even to this day, I can watch that back and piss myself,
No,
even more than any podcast, because we got stopped from doing it again. I know we really pushed a few buttons, and when you watch it back,
watching that in my
Hang on,
uni dorm
wait,
room, being
wait.
like, literally tweeting you
Hang
two,
on.
being like, you've made this entertaining.
Wait, you
Yeah.
two actually got stopped from doing it?
oh
I
yeah,
never
they
knew
did
that.
Joella and Elliot the next year because
yeah.
we pissed a lot of
So
Sidemen
actually,
fans
no.
off.
I've always wanted
Just
to bring.
mini
I've
mid-there,
always
really.
wanted to bring this up. I'm sure I brought it up when I was drunk off my
Go ahead,
head at
motherfucker.
Sidemen.
Drunk.
Do you remember when you two pointed out that two people came and bowed to you during the match?
Yeah.
Those were my fucking in real life mates.
Really?
Yes,
So,
they were.
these two lads ran over to us when the pitch invasion happened, and they're bowing.
No,
and I'm
because
going,
they
don't come on.
Yeah.
Leave us alone.
yes,
we don't
yes.
want to meet you.
that was my mate George and Kyle because they both went to that game.
Both played for
and
Bournemouth.
they messaged me afterwards. Going, we got noticed by the True Geordie, and I was like, one day I will. That was
He
very-
hasn't noticed you
That
today,
was really
mate, sorry.
fucking. So technically, most guys will see this podcast and go, "We did it first, so it's not that impressive." So
Yeah. To be
leave it
fair,
alone.
it's different.
No,
though,
man,
isn't it?
because in my head, like I had one mate from back home who he's like Laurence a tiny bit in terms of like just a sarcastic prick, but not the same person. But
He's a cunt.
but I used to just have such a laugh at him, and then when I met Laurence, I was like, oh, this is the same. Like me and him just click. And then when we did the Sidemen charity match, I was just like, this is one of the funniest things I've ever done. Like this podcast is going to be mint. We're going to have such a fucking laugh.
Yeah,
I didn't
no,
really think
because
about getting
because
it.
I remember watching that, and then
then
I
Poet
remember
and
you
Feuds
two
came on.
being like, "Why the fuck are these two people coming over and bowing to me?" And I just got a Facebook message like 5 minutes after going, or just bow to the True Geordie, and I was like, you guys have made yourself look like complete pricks. So,
I've never had so many people message me and say, I hope you get cancer.
he opened his DMs on the live stream, and this was when. Now, I'm not saying that me and Laurence are the biggest YouTubers by any means, but literally, like, we weren't well known.
Yeah,
we weren't well known then, especially Laurence, bless him. And you got a lot of shit that day.
Yeah, it was Laurence.
So my DMs were open because I had, I think, 4,000 followers at the time.
And you're a big slag.
We were trying to make 25-year-olds laugh on a stream full of 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
So in our heads, we're like, we don't give a fuck that there's 2 million people watching live. As long as we're laughing, we don't care.
And
we fucked up.
In absolute.
Big time.
no, it was good.
No,
It was good.
I think that's what you need, though. Yeah, I think if you do a joke that you deem as clever, and you think that 90% of people won't get it, when those 10% do, you're like, I'm fucking glad.
In their eyes, I'm a legend.
Actually, I
That's when
wanted
you
to
get
bring
that
that up
buzz.
again because I was watching the kickoff a few days ago.
Oh, really?
And I
All right,
remember
trying to get
watching
on.
your.
You
Actually watched that?
Yes, I do. And I remember.
Thanks, Will.
I
text
remember.
it
the-
these days.
Okay, Stephen does text me most weeks when the kickoff starts.
Stephen texts about 10. I'm thinking to myself, why don't you just come on?
There was a joke on the kickoff that went over most people's heads that I very much appreciate. That was the sports personality of the year joke.
Right.
Because Halal Ham does deserve it.
I've got a question for you, actually.
Shoot.
Right, out of all the podcasts you've done, who has been the best guest? Right.
Jimmy Conrad.
In terms of like, you learned a lot about them that you didn't already know. You thought they might be a bit average and they were a bit decent. And without really cussing anyone up, who's not really performed to the level that like, I don't want to say who's the shittest guest, but who's the shittest guest?
I know who the shittest guest is. Straight away. No,
if you can't say it, tell me after. But I'd like to know.
I think the best guest in terms of, I think that we've had some great guests generally. I think Tony Belly was someone I really liked in terms of, but that was XO, but I still class him as mine because I was the one who fucking wanted to have him on. Yeah, he was someone who I just loved as soon as I met. I thought he was a class bloke.
Shagging
There's just a lot of gay sex on this podcast,
which is fine.
In terms of who I didn't expect to be amazing, but really was amazing, was Sean Atwood.
Sean's Psycho Atwood.
Sean is by far one of the most genuine people
I love
think
him.
you and I have met.
Yeah.
He's fucking terrifying.
When you said he's gone to prison, do you mean he's been or he's gone now?
The story of,
I don't know.
so a quick rundown if you haven't seen it. Sean Atwood was a guy who built his reputation on the stock market, went over to America, made a lot of money, then decided he loved drugs. He was going to sell them instead, shipped a load of E's, ended up dealing with the New Mexican mafia, got caught selling drugs, ended up in prison for about 6 years, and then finally got out, and now he's trying to educate kids why you should
So
go down that road.
somebody could say that he lived the same life as a YouTuber does.
Does he still deal, or is that?
The Wolf of what is it?
It's the Wolf of Wall Street, as England's Wolf of Wall Street is what I call them, because it's a very similar sort of story in terms of success in drugs and all that. But he was just a great dude to do a podcast with. In terms of people who've let me down, I think there's been some podcasts which I was a bit. There was a few people who I was a bit disappointed with.
We should get the karaoke machine out and do some Dizzy Rascal songs.
When Dizzy Rascal came on the podcast, I had this image of him as the 16-year-old me who listened to the 16, 17-year-old Dizzy Rascal, who's a real, like, educated young dude who really had his fucking finger on the pulse of how people my age were feeling and thinking at the time, and just felt fucking helpless. And he nailed it.
Absolutely bonkers.
In the album, right? He nailed it, genuinely. When I met him and when we asked him certain questions and he got a bit sensitive and a bit aggressive, particularly towards Laurence, in my head I was thinking to myself, at the time I was thinking, just let it go, because he's a big name and I'm trying to deal with that for one of the first times in terms of having someone from the music industry. In retrospect, I wish I'd just turned around and said, if you don't want to answer the questions, then fuck off, mate. You know what I mean? But I think how much I liked him as a young person influenced how I interviewed him, and that's a learning curve for me. And I wish, if you're just gonna act like a dick, then you'll get the real me. Do you know what I mean? And not the person who's trying to.
I think everybody gets that though. Like every single time I meet YouTubers who I've been watching for 10 years, no matter how many videos I've made on them, I always no matter how many videos. Maybe it's 7.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Harry. I called you.
You do cocaine.
I told you videos. I sent you videos. Terrible.
You called me a +1. You did.
No, it's honestly right. When you meet somebody, no matter who it is, along those lines, you kind of do give them more leeway subconsciously than I think you expect.
Yeah, and I didn't realise it until after I watched it back, and I was like, that's not me, really. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't like I totally took my foot off the gas.
Yeah, that wasn't Dizzy Rascal.
No,
I think we entered it thinking he will know that we are fans of him, and therefore he will give us answers which would merit that. And there was a point in the podcast where he went, journalists and people like you, and I was like,
Oh, you want them to view it as a different.
And I remember thinking, you've completely misjudged this because actually you don't understand what this
I'll be honest,
format
it was
is.
just a bit of a letdown for me. And since then, it's to the point where I don't even listen to his music anymore because I'm just like,
now
I've now then that you've got so this podcast has always been like a thing that you wanted to grow and grow and grow.
Yeah.
And now you've hit certain like guests. Do you feel that so? You've had Logan on, who's obviously massive, blah blah blah. You might get someone who's decent,
alone now,
right?
so.
But like, not like huge like Logan. Do you feel like if you then get them on, it will then be like a step down?
No, I don't care.
Like,
I don't
feel
care
like
about
you've peaked too
status.
soon?
It's about chat. So I've had people on since then, who seriously, I can tell they're here for their own interests, and that's when I'm like. And lately, I haven't done a proper podcast interview hardly at all, like because I'm just fucking sick of people who come on and they're like guarded and they're like, "I'm not going to give you what I'm really thinking," and I'm just like, "Well, don't fucking come here then. Go to fucking BBC, all those other cunts who are going to promote your shit and give you 5 minutes and not actually tell your story and not really give you an engaged audience. Go to those cunts because if you're not going to give your real story to me, I'm not interested."
What's interesting is actually I know that the mainstream media don't watch this, but I know there are people in every office that do watch the podcast.
Let's be honest, the kids of mainstream media are watching us.
But I think a lot of people are watching
and
YouTube
we watch
in
the
general.
kids.
And part of me is disappointed with mainstream media like BBC, ITV, all these guys, because what they've done is they've seen the formats that we do on YouTube and they've started to rip them off. And instead of doing something which is
Sky Sports, The Debate.
Yeah, all these kind of things where they go, instead of coming up with these guys got millions of pounds. We had nothing to rub together when we started this podcast.
I was in a bomb shelter.
And that's what annoys me is these guys have got rooms of people who go
50 quid a day I rented that out for.
No,
genuinely.
and Will was a Japanese prisoner of war.
We rented it from a guy who barely spoke English.
He was Russian and he has 5 teeth.
And he did
10 quid a tooth.
He just went, where we were, toilet over.
The way
Really
I,
was
see it,
like
like, I reckon back in the old school True Geordie podcast days, you would have probably loved to have someone like Nobby Solano on the podcast, but now you've had Shearer. I don't know if you'd go back down to that. So do you feel like you've
do Nobby
at all the genres now? That to go back to someone like that, you're going to feel like a step down, even though when you first started that'd be a big get. Do you know what I mean?
Not in the same way though, because actually we've discussed this a lot between the two of us. We got offered a lot of guests, and Brian gets offered a lot of guests.
Who's somebody you turned down?
No, there have been a lot of people turned down. There's been a lot of people that Brian's turned down where I thought, that could be an interesting guy, but actually, and afterwards in retrospect, you go, yeah, that wouldn't be a good interview. Peter Crouch offered himself, or Peter Crouch's agent offered, and
the only reason he did that is because he wants to take us over on Happy Hour. That's why.
He'll never do that.
So the reason Peter Crouch offered was for one reason, and it was because he was launching his own podcast, and it was like
just to promote that.
So Crouch would have come on and gone. He would have gone. Oh well, I've got stories to save for my own podcast.
Yeah.
So what we want is people who are going to come on and go, I'll tell you any story, any time, and whatever you ask, if you hit upon something, I'll give you the best story.
So, for example, Kieran Dyer wasn't the biggest name in football in his day, but he was a big name. He was an England player. But to me, if I could recreate an interview regularly, it would be the Kieran Dyer interview because he gave everything. He showed emotion. He practically fucking cried. He kept up in touch with us afterwards. Still texts us every week. Like he is the realest, nicest fucking bloke I've had on. Like Kieran Dyer, I thought he was a total cunt. It's turned out to be like as nice as any bloke I've ever met.
Who would you say is your best podcast today?
And you
not
saw him at
biggest
St.
guest,
James's.
but the best podcast, standalone podcast.
Every single episode he's had you on.
To be fair, this is why they say JaackMaate does the best podcast now because he does the best interviews. This is fantastic.
I'm just intrigued to know. Yeah,
it's great to be witness to this.
I would probably have have a top 3 because I wouldn't.
Go on,
name him now.
Number 3, Jimmy Conrad.
Jimmy Conrad's lovely.
It's
a sensational male. Sorry to assume his gender. He might be. I don't know why he's
a sensational woman.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to do that one.
You can probably get number 1, can't you? What springs to mind when I say True Geordie podcast?
Because you probably want to say Shearer, but then
Shearer wasn't the best podcast because Shearer, you need people who are going to completely give themselves over.
So what's your best 3?
He can't. Though,
he's never that. He's not that same dude.
What's your best 3?
I love the Shearer one, but it's
exactly.
But what there's a wall there with certain people that it doesn't matter how good of an interviewer you are, you're never going to break down. And I'm getting to the point where I'm just fucked off with trying. I'm just like, look, if you turn up, then just give us what I want. Or
I think my favourite one, as somebody who's watched football for a long time and also has been subscribed to your channel since the days where you did.
We get it,
when you had like
bisexual.
70,000 subscribers. Fuck off, Steve. My favourite, I think my favourite one was the Kieran Dyer one.
That was really good.
To see you interview Kieran Dyer as a Newcastle fan, I put myself in a position where I was like, as somebody who is a big football fan and has seen England disappoint people for a long time. It was one of those things where I looked at that and I went, it's nice to understand how he felt. Because you don't normally get that. You just kind of assume that they're on cloud 9 and they don't care anymore.
I'm telling you now, right? When I asked Kieran about his Gary Speed and his kids, like I'm looking at this guy's eyes and I'm seeing like the bloodshot eye, like you could see the emotion in it, and I was like, you're as real as they come. And like I don't know how many months ago we did that interview, but like he just texted me recently. He keeps like he'll help me out. Do you know what I mean? He's like, if you need anyone, like he's a fucking legend. So he would probably be up there. Maybe Sean Atwood, maybe Nick Yarris.
Sean Atwood was good for the real life stories.
Like definitely.
Sean Atwood was good.
I like the gangster.
Bobby Cummins.
Oh yeah.
He was
Bobby Cummins was a fucking legend.
Like the one that Brian basically got. There was a great bit where in the podcast, I don't know if it's
he texts me every now and then.
He WhatsApp group messages me and he says he sends
who's in that group
every 3 months he sends me the True Geordie podcast and I go, oh, that was a good time, wasn't it, Bobby? And he goes, best to you and yours, son. He
texted me after the podcast and he went he texted James, who set it up, I think, and he said, tell Brian I wouldn't like to have a fight with him because he would beat me and then I'd have to kill him.
Whereas I would be more than up for a boxing match.
And then he put ... and he treated me with the greatest of respect.
Oh, yeah, sweet.
I thought he was a lovely guy. So them like stories where people just give you everything, that is what I'm looking for. It's not about status. It's not about like we've got enough subscribers and views. That's not what it's about anymore for me.
I always think, because I've always watched the podcast, and I always think if you go away and you think about it for a while, that's a good podcast. Like the next day you're still thinking about it. And a weird one that we've not mentioned is the geezer, I forget his name, but he played poker.
Oh yeah, Charlie.
And he wore those.
He needed a wash.
He was like a big acid head.
I've got him on Twitter. So.
I follow this guy on Twitter, and he asked some of the.
He was like a big acid head, wasn't he?
Yeah,
and that was one that really stuck in my brain for
Charlie
a while.
Carell.
Yeah.
So
that was one that always stuck in my brain.
Charlie was amazing because Charlie did the first one, and Brian and I were fascinated. Charlie did
the second one with the girl, and the girl's got the multi-personality.
So basically, we went from having an autistic gambler who was 23 years old and worth £6 million plus to then he said he had a situation where he would just fuck any woman that walked basically that he wanted.
He was a polygamist.
He was like, I'm gonna have multiple girlfriends, fuck it, I'm living my dream. And then next time I'm speaking to him on the phone, he's like, oh yeah, calm down lads because I can fucking hear you.
Stephen.
Anyway, shut up man. So anyway, and then he's like, oh no, I've bailed a cam girl out of a life of hell with her boyfriend. She's been fucking having to do cam girling because to feed her boyfriend or whatever. She's done a runner. I've given her a couple of grand. She's on the fucking run. She then went from America to meet him in England, and now he's not a
poker player.
Anyway, he's still a poker. I think he quit poker for a little while.
Just Charlie.
He quit being a polygamist to be a monogamist, and so that sounds like basically he dedicated to one girl. So
when you met her as well, when I met her, I was like, "Fucking hell, you are."
I texted you straight away. I was like, I texted you. I was like, "Is she really that?" For lack of a better word, mad.
When she walked in the room, Brian literally went, "I'd fuck her."
I don't think I said exactly that. Can we?
You definitely did.
She had a lovely horse.
Brian literally went, "I'd fuck her," and she had that demeanor of a girl who is very forward.
Right.
So she's a very flirty person.
Right. It's like me as a YouTuber, to be fair. That's why I've managed to get all the friends that I've got.
You put the vibe up.
Yeah. So she was very...
She has the social vibe.
She felt... That was a strange side. With Brian and I, and you can sort of tell from...
She wants Instagram followers, like, no tomorrow.
She said she had multiple personality disorder, dude.
And within the time that we had the podcast... There was one personality the whole time, which Brian and I struggled with, and I remember sitting there and thinking, is her story real or is her story fake?
I remember watching it thinking that is fake,
and
100% fake.
But that was the weird thing was she said, well, when I have anxiety, it comes out. So a fire alarm went off during that podcast. There were multiple things that I would think.
The fire alarm went off in the podcast.
You're on a fucking podcast with a guy that's going to give you a lot of views. That's the moment to get anxiety.
But there were multiple things where I thought, this girl should have anxiety right now because I'm feeling anxious.
Yes.
When the terrorist attack happened, she should have flared up a little bit.
No, but
she should have turned into a 4-year-old at some point.
She's not got eczema.
Get the eczema.
She's but it was strange because it was a weird experience when we were looking at each other, and I remember multiple points where you and I looked at each other and we were like, "This is so fucking."
Do you know what it is?
weird.
That was one of the most of all the podcasts I remember leaving and thinking that was mental. But
that's what makes the fucking good
dude.
podcast.
When you've got a legit gambling millionaire who's a young kid, he's met this fit fucking girl. He's rescued her from a life of hell of a cam girl, and all of a sudden she's claimed to have multiple personality disorder, and you're sitting there like, this is a home run. I am Joe Rogan. I am Joe Rogan.
Can I also say part of that dynamic was blatantly that they were having a lot of sex.
Oh, and a lot of drugs as well. And a lot of, and do you know what it is? That was captivating me. Because in my head I was like, well, I wish I was you, son.
Right.
Fair play to you. Yeah. What a life.
What's your favourite drug, guys? Let's go around.
I loved them. I texted him the other day saying, you got to teach me how to play poker on this level, mate.
So Brian so blatantly respected that guy that it was unbelievable during the point No!
Charlie, you're a fucking legend, son. You're a king among men.
You've had Alan Shearer on, and you respected that guy more than Alan Shearer.
Oh god. Oh my god.
The point where it was to the point where Shearer Brian went, I love you.
Yeah.
And there's a point where Brian's looking at him and goes, I fuck you. And that was the difference between the two of them.
And that's how I wanted this to go. Yeah.
No, the Shearer one. The Shearer one was a bit of a that was a. I mean, like, you know what it's like, Will, when you fucking grow up idolising this guy. In Newcastle, there's a thing about Alan Shearer that is, there's not about anyone, there's no other place in the world, there's no other person in the world that is quite like Alan Shearer in Newcastle.
Gerrard in Liverpool's pretty
No, it's not the same. It isn't the same. It isn't the same.
Fuck off.
I actually do have an experience like that because I lived in Durham, which is very close to Newcastle.
Oh, I don't want to hear your Rafa Benitez.
This is a great story.
I
want to tell
Is it a
this.
Rafa Benitez story?
A Rafa Benitez story. I would like to tell this story. I have a fantastic story.
Absolute shit show. I really am sorry.
I lived.
Shut up, you cunts!
I lived in the. Shut the fuck up. I lived.
Piping up again.
Will, your phone just went off. Ollie White just sold another one of your shirts. It's fine.
Jack's left at this point. I lived in Durham for a brief period of time. Yeah. And Durham was really
Maybe
fucking.
He was trying to get some more views.
Yeah. So when I was the least subscribed out of my friendship group, no, I lived in Durham.
You seen me and Will take off. He thought I better move up north.
No, I was.
Lads, let's
It's ImAllexx here. What's going on?
I'm making tea and I'm fucking having a
This is why we have to stop Keemstar, you see.
How are you, man? I don't like YouTubers.
All right. So you're in Durham.
I lived in Durham for a brief period of time.
You keep talking, ignore these.
Okay, I will. I lived in Durham for a brief period of time, and obviously that's up north. That's as north as it could go. I remember one time we lived in Durham and we got in a car and we drove and we ended up in, you know, the sign that appears that says you're in Scotland. We drove past that. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, wow.
But I was living up north. I went to Nando's one day. One of the first times I ever left the house.
Which Nando's was it in Newcastle? Was it the one in the centre?
Yes, it was in the centre.
In the shopping centre.
Yes, it was.
I've been to that one as well.
It's a fucking brilliant Nando's.
Staff run it very well.
And I'm sat in Nando's. I'm with my 4 housemates, and I see a bloke walk into Nando's with a suit on. You don't see that happen very often in Durham. A guy walks into Nando's with a suit, and I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, I recognise that man because I want to say. It's very late into the podcast, but I'm a Chelsea fan. Mm-hmm. Judge that how you will.
Do we boo?
Yeah, do we boo?
What do you do?
Do we call it? Am I racist? I don't know. You could decide.
He is.
I was looking at this bloke who walked into Nando's, and I was thinking, for some reason, I recognise that man. I'm from Bournemouth. That's as far south as you could go. I'm looking at this bloke walk in. I'm like, Nando's is a Spanish restaurant.
Land's End.
I assume it's a Spanish restaurant.
We still going with this fucking Rafa Benitez.
I am.
You'll
Yeah,
get-
it's a good story. It's a good
There's people tucking into their turkey right now somewhere, just being like, just fucking get on with it.
Basically,
the drop off.
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at
Start
this
the story
bloke.
now.
Yeah.
Rafa-
Watch time gone.
Rafa Benitez.
And he's looking at this bloke thinking, I know you from somewhere.
Do you know what? And I'm thinking, I'm looking at him and I go, do you know what? I know
Fade
you,
to black.
but I can't figure out where it is. It was Rafa Benitez of all people. Who would have? I don't know.
Fucking
Plot twist.
in a suit in Nando's. You're taking my torture.
The thing is,
What did you do then? Did you say hello? Or?
No,
Sweet potato
I
mash.
looked at him. The story ended at the. I looked at him and I turned to my mates and I went, "That's Rafa Benitez," and that's where the
How
story
do you have a
ends.
podcast for this
And
guy?
they both said we're.
I looked at him, I said, that's Rafa
We've
Benitez.
got bigger fish to
out.
fry.
What a challenge you must have on your hand.
I
Jesus.
zone out.
I tell you what, Jesus
met
turned
Rafa
water
in
into
Nando's.
wine.
How do you think I get mid rolls on my videos?
Unbelievable.
I don't know.
That's exactly how I do it.
Amazing.
Do we all love Rafa here?
I mean,
Yeah,
Rafa's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Rafa's
Oh,
good.
we all do. Lawrence loves him. Have
the
you
point?
got any last questions?
Yeah, well,
big
we
questions.
need a big old
I'm happy
question,
to stay here
Brian.
forever.
We've got loads more, lads, to be
go on
honest.
then. Go on
I
then.
expect Rafa in Nando's.
Honestly, I envy you so much for that. Rafa Benitez is mine.
The best footballer I've met is Felipe Coutinho.
Yeah?
It was one of those like Liverpool fans can meet the players days.
What,
We've
you
got,
mean he was a nice guy or a big name?
What's your
Big
biggest
name.
insecurity? People are asking if you have one.
It's
Fatty,
when
being a fatty.
no, it's when people tell me that I've
Don't
never
tell
met.
me no. That's my insecurity.
Not good enough.
No,
Nah, not
your
good
ears are a
enough.
fucking state, man. Sort them out first.
It's actually I've watched you play FIFA. I've watched you play FIFA before, Stephen, and you're fucking wank at it. So
Thank you, Alex. Yeah, I thought you remember FIFA channel, which did exist for a few years.
no, my biggest
Well,
insecurity is when people come to me and go, "You've never met Rafa Benitez before." And I go, "I'm sorry, guys. I've definitely met Rafa
Okay, no, we've
Benitez."
got an hour. Go on.
It's definitely you definitely haven't met him. You've just seen
And
him.
he went and got a knives and forks before he got his dinner. I'll give you that detail. He got the knife first, then the fork, the spoon. That's Rafa. What are you getting the spoon for?
That Logan Herb over there, Rafa.
You've ordered a double chicken wrap. Why do you need a spoon?
What are you dabbing that on for, you fucking dickhead?
And no one leads you to unmove.
Bring up my roast to soccer in 76 minutes, you fucking idiot.
I feel bad for your editor.
Yeah.
Jesus
God,
Christ.
it's Con this week.
Oh,
so
God. I
good
love you,
luck.
Con.
Good luck, son.
Yeah, good luck, sir.
Don't edit.
You're not a bad man,
Just
fam.
leave it on.
Biggest insecurity, Alex,
off,
go.
Stephen.
Alex, biggest insecurity, go.
Surely the fringe.
Surely
Surely the hoodie.
you can change that.
The fact that
can I
everyone
ask a
you know
question?
touches King.
Do you know with that fringe? Most people who have hair like that have really dodgy hairlines. Is that what this is?
Which camera do I look
Right.
into? That one. Right.
Fuck
Yeah.
your-
Hello, everyone.
That's it.
That's not bad. That's not
That's
bad
it.
at all.
That's
Oh,
it.
mate.
Oh, mate, you've seen nothing yet.
Mine's higher. Mine starts way higher, but it's just the way I'm born, you know.
You've just got a lot of hair.
A high hairline and bad ears.
Good old lady.
But I'll tell you what, I can shag for years.
So what is your biggest insecurity?
So I mean, I think one of the things, if you watch my YouTube videos over a period of time, there was
I
one
know.
point where I had hair. Fuck you, you fucking bellend. Not everybody can do diss tracks on the FT freestylers, alright?
Can I just say,
You can, mate.
It comes across as flirting, but that's just unusual. I don't know what it is.
No,
I'm getting fucking jealous, yeah.
Sat in between these two lovebirds.
Oh, go on tour with him, Megan fucking dickhead.
Fucking shag.
no.
That's why you've been quiet for the last 5 minutes.
My biggest
Call me
my biggest insecurity is the fact that I'm the person who's come on this podcast the least amount of times. So I'm relying on you to fix that.
That was
Brian.
your bullshit.
Don't point,
Not
don't
gonna
point,
happen, not
don't
gonna
point.
happen.
Not gonna happen. You
To be fair, you've talked a lot today.
I've got a funny walk. Stephen pointed it over.
You've got a funny wall.
It does, yeah, but you've got a lot going for you. A funny walk's nothing, mate.
What's yours?
Just being a fat cunt.
Same.
What about you?
In like
Ears.
April to July, I'm good.
Ears, I have little elf ears, is what I'm told over.
Oh,
See-
fuck off bringing up ears when I'm next year. Piss off.
So yeah, I'm looking at.
Is that really your thing? Your ears?
Ears is definitely one of
See,
them.
it's-
Also, I'm. Can I just say this?
Oh,
I'm,
my beard as well.
yeah,
Oh.
I'm unaware of how incredibly annoying I am.
Oh God.
I don't think you're that annoying at all.
Incredibly annoying. So you've spent a lot of time. My girlfriend spent a lot of time with me. Anyone who spends a lot of time with me I become really annoying.
I really like your company, but living with you must be hell on earth.
I'd fucking vote on that.
Does she ever wear a strap on and just go to town on you?
We spent time
Just take
together
out
in
all the
Paris.
frustration.
Did anyone hear what Stephen just said?
There was a point where Will went, I'm going to go and edit videos, and I thought, fuck, I'm annoying.
No, that was just me stressed out.
just Will.
Stephen just said, does she ever wear a strap on and go to town on you?
Did I say that right?
As everyone else is talking over him.
Laurence's
And he literally did the motion just to make sure people knew it.
Have you ever met her?
Yeah, I've met her twice.
Right.
Outstanding woman.
Wait, are you talking about your own girlfriend or?
No,
his?
no. Lawrence's
about your
girlfriend.
girlfriend?
Lawrence's girlfriend takes my breath away. My girlfriend's is the one I love. So
I met Stephen's girlfriend and...
you didn't realise it though, Brian, as we found out the other week.
She's fucking tiny. I could
She
kick Zoe
looks
over a small
12, but
thing.
I promise you,
very,
I've
very
ID'd her 3 times. 19.
She's of age. She seems like a perfectly lovely girl.
She's
Although
adorable.
the one I really got along with was your dad.
Oh, David.
Me and him.
He's the best man I've
Based
ever met.
on the stories you've told, Brian, are you going to eat his ass?
Mate, basically, Brian, you can give my dad a rim job.
It'll be like an ox, won't he, Alex?
The way he looked at you and Max, it's just I'll
Who
never
does he
get that
prefer though? Can we get that out there?
Who would he be most likely to give
I imagine he probably. Did you meet him? Yeah. Okay, he probably loves you as well.
Oh,
Then.
right. No, but who does he prefer though?
He loves Lawrence's work.
Sands of Time.
I reckon he probably loves Brian the most.
Right.
Just
Working
because
class man.
he's a big and David's a working class man.
Biggest insecurity?
Are we like,
The fact that my girlfriend prefers Laurence to me.
Oh really? Does she?
Yeah.
Probably just
Yep.
Actually, no, she liked James.
I
pointed
love
James
you.
out,
With,
she went, "Oh, he's
I
fair."
ship
very
you
cute.
as a couple though.
I know.
I ship
Like we said
James.
on the last podcast, you just like any picture that's.
I
And
fancy
that was
James.
people have taken that out of hand, and now I'm sort of feeding
That's
into
like
it
a
on the
meme now.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Because I just put like for Fiona under.
Sometimes when I need the likes, I'm like, Fiona, get it. I need Brian to like this. So.
Yeah.
Then it's yeah.
No,
Super
I'm really cool with it. It's good.
Have you all got brunette
I'm
girlfriends?
really into it.
Brunette.
Or
brunette,
partners?
Brunette.
Brunette. Yeah.
Brunette. Everyone's gone brunette.
Mine's part Jewish. It's not about being
James
cultured
Charles
boys.
brunette. Alex.
James Charles is a natural
Brunette.
brunette.
James Charles brunette or.
James Charles would be brunette, but he's not my girlfriend because he's a man.
Oh, okay.
he's
Cool.
just his-
Right, that's where I messed up.
Rod
Right, cool.
provider, we call it.
The fisherman.
In the GMI community.
You son of a bitch! I love it. The fact that we've got to a point in this podcast where Stephen Trice is calling James Charles the rod provider for ImAllexx. Oh yes, Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Oh, dear.
Terminator.
It sounds like one of the robot wars.
Actually, no, I have a
Smash and
question.
mash and
I
the rod
mean-
provider.
Do I have any insecurity?
Into the fire.
I'd rather be slim, but I don't know if that's if it's like an insecure thing. You know what I'm like? To me, insecurity is something that plays on your head a lot.
I'm saying
Being
you're very
fat
close to
doesn't
great
bother me
shape.
that
I'd
much.
honestly
You're not
say that.
fat, are you?
Not
No,
at all.
but that's the thing I would change about
Look at his
myself.
bicep.
It must be your sheer
That's
size.
the thing I would want to change about myself, but it isn't. I'm not that bothered.
Right.
It's like if I could
It's
click my
nothing
fingers,
really.
I would. But it's a lot of effort.
So what
Do you know what I mean?
is
That's probably
your
the
number
cardio
one
coming in
biggest
there, Brian.
insecurity?
Is it your general demeanour?
Shannon Briggs.
Shannon the Cannon.
Let's go, Tam.
Size.
What's me? I'd like to make ImAllexx kind of money on YouTube. That's a bit of an genuinely, he makes at least, I think, at least 7 times, if not 8, 9 times the amount of money per month that I make on YouTube.
Just to be clear, his
I've
content,
got
his content
50
takes,
times in my case.
his content takes at
There's
least a
no
tenth of
best-
the energy.
best-
I've heard what you make, and it's probably 10 times what I
You
make.
make 50
No,
times what I
mate,
make.
you're sponsored by
And I make
Xbox.
fucking
but the
funny
point is,
videos.
I'm not sponsored by Xbox. XO is, and we have to put that back into the business, unfortunately.
And you still wear a pink
you're
hoodie,
welcome, Stu.
so
But in
Brian,
terms of,
Brian, I
get to
want
my
you to
invoice as
do
well,
next year New Year's resolution. I think everybody should set one.
stop
right now.
swearing, I suppose.
Everybody should set one on New Year's on a New Year's resolution. I want to see Brian wear pink in every single True Geordie podcast.
Do you know what it is?
Piss off.
I kill in pink.
you would be good at
Kill?
it.
because I shouldn't look like I wear it. It works. I'm gonna try the ketogenic diet next year.
Oh yeah,
Cave,
No
Tyson Fury
carbs.
did.
No carbs.
Caveman.
No, it's that meat and fat,
Lots of meat. Lots
protein,
of meat.
fat. Yeah.
How many views do you get a month?
Views a month. I don't know the exact number, but
which videos
it varies. I think this month I had about 7 million views.
Brian,
How many do you have, Alex?
It's like 18, I think.
Oh, everyone JaackMaate. Piss off,
that is a
Alex.
happy hour for you, isn't it?
Come back to
Jesus.
2 million. And that's
Should it really be called JaackMaate Happy Hour? That was the real quiz.
The worst way, I made that joke the other day, actually.
I tried to do
Well,
a
I
long
asked you didn't
podcast.
ask me. So.
To be fair, it's really starting to become a duo, though,
Brian,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Just to be absolutely clear, Stephen, everyone here.
Lads are
Sorry.
speaking really loudly.
Pipe it down.
Sorry, boys.
Someone on this table tried to do a long form podcast the other day.
Didn't work.
What happened?
Basically, I tried to.
Talk into the mic.
I tried to do a podcast. Just a one-off. You thought 2018. We've got Max. We've got Tom. Tom's actually better than Max in the video. It says
Max
a lot.
is a shambles, isn't he? Bless him. I love him.
Max is the
It's quality.
Max is the funniest person I've met.
Max is the reason that I ended up away.
We've heard.
No, Max is the
Second
reason.
funniest person I've
Because I didn't
third
actually
funny.
mention this. Max is the reason.
met
that
Rafa,
When
we
I
get
woke
it.
up outside my own apartment, I woke up. No. I woke up covered in my own blood. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
That's how
Rafa
Max
Benitez
cut
is
him.
very aggressive.
Max shanked him.
Period.
He
That
had
hymen
about
had to break
50k
at
a
some
week. He went,
point,
fuck
yeah.
off. Give me some of that blood.
What happened? Seriously, how did you get
No,
blood?
so Max went. So when I met you, I was already fucking hammered when I was
Ketamine.
Agreed.
We call
Then-
it jazzed. Jazzed off your nut.
So basically, I was doing some absolute techers at the party. Absolute
Around the world,
techers.
especially Colombia.
Around the world.
Max turned up and he went. Max turned to me. Max turned to me.
Around the world, especially Colombia.
I don't care about your prostate history. It's been a drug test.
Can we just agree? This podcast is done.
It's a fucking shit show.
2 lines.
Max turned up. I'm going to try very hard to talk to the microphone. Max turned up and he went, "Oh, I'm a big guy, and I've obviously turned up an hour later than everybody else." He went, "I'm going to do 2 tequila shots apiece," and he went, "You should join in with me." I don't remember how far we got up to. All I remember is I woke up and I remember this man came up to me in the middle of the street. It's the last memory I had from the Sidemen party. It was a man came
James
up.
Charles.
A man came up to me and went,
Choppy Kex.
I'll wet your palate.
He went.
Mascara's all over the place.
No, he
Let me fix it.
he probably could have tried to have sex with me and I would have agreed, but actually what happened was he went, "You're covered in your own blood, do you want to go to hospital?" And I went, "I live over there," and
Piss
then,
off,
and then I
Keemstar.
went to bed.
Bit more on that.
The first time I met Max, he had a really long, big black coat on. Oh my god, they're fake tanning, Stephen.
I thought you were going to say big black something else.
The thing
He's
is,
actually rubbing fake tan.
Max, Max thought that Brian hated him.
Yeah.
But
Really?
Yeah,
he
he was
really?
like, Max overthinks everything. He was like, I think Brian hates because I'm annoying. It's like, no, Brian
Why
likes
are you
me.
because you're a fan?
Will did it, and then I did it on my first arm.
So
I've got
Max,
a TikTok video
Max
tomorrow.
opens his big black coat on. Bear in mind, it's summer and he's wearing a huge overcoat, and I'm looking at him like, I'm hot. I'm a big guy. You're a big guy. You must be sweating. And he opens it. He goes, "Not to worry." Opens his coat and he has like stores of deodorant, like
Genuinely, yeah.
full huge canisters of deodorant, just to give it this underarm spray as he goes. Just
It was amazing. I remember you looking at me and going, "Fucking hell!"
The thing is,
what a guy.
the best thing about that night, he got on the coach. He got
You
on
might
the
want to go
coach.
wash that off.
No, it's fine, Brian. He got on the coach, and apparently Saoirse was flirting with him. But I think Max is the first person on YouTube to never flirt back. he just pushed her head off his shoulder and went, no.
Oh,
Max
God.
Smith. he's
Shout
my
out to
hero.
Saoirse, she's a legend.
And Max. They're both
See,
legends
I
of the
don't want to
game.
interrupt.
I would shit them as a couple.
Don't interrupt
by
then,
the way.
Alex.
I don't want to interrupt
Get
the
married,
incredible
you two.
podcast, but
Similar personality.
is there a toilet here? Because I really need one.
Downstairs,
Downstairs,
yeah.
Back in a second.
Are you ready for True Geordie problems?
Oh, we're starting again.
We're going to give some advice to the people.
James Charles loves
To be honest, these will all be fresh problems as well. There will be, because I put this out last night, so there'll be real issues that we need to tackle.
a lot of issues.
If it's one about tanning, I don't need that.
Got it sorted. Got it licked.
This one's called "I Am Awkward and I Hate It."
I'll take this.
Yeah, no. you won't. Hey there, I'm 16 years old and from Germany. I'm a big fan
Sign
of
up
the podcast.
to the
Blah, blah,
wall.
blah. My problem is that I'm always super awkward around girls I like, but it's really easy for me to talk to my friends or classmates, male or female. I never know what to say, and I get really nervous. That's why I don't really talk to girls I'd like to date. It's a very easy problem. This
Same old.
It's an age-old problem. But how do we solve that problem? What advice do you give to a person who's awkward around women?
So if I was JaackMaate, I'd invite an 11-year-old into my house.
Fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Will.
Wow, that's so bad. He's throwing you under the bus. Yeah. He's your podcast fucking partner. He's supposed to make you look good.
$1 million, you cunt.
Yeah.
Whoa! That was fucking me. You can back off. That was bad.
Will got you to $1 million.
That was all the charity tweets from all the big YouTubers going, let's get him to $1 million. Just in case he blows up, I'm going to tweet this so I can go back and bank it later.
Let's pretend I know Leon Lush.
It's very true.
What is he, 16?
He's 16.
He wants to be able to talk to girls
Mate,
more.
I was fucking pathetic till 22, so, you know.
You're 21 now.
Yeah.
I'm preempting this coolness
He
that's going to happen.
smashed you there, like, Stephen.
I'll take it. Jack'll do my arse any day. As in a verbal way.
Yeah.
Not literally, Will. Don't get jealous.
I think this is
when he goes on Uber Eats, he just looks for Stephen's bum. Yummy.
Don't talk about eating arse in front of this.
Sorry.
Please.
We've been.
This guy's done it in front of girls.
No, the thing is though, when you've got to talk to women, you just you just need to not put pressure on yourself, mate. Not think to myself, all right, I'm trying to fuck you now. Not think about all of that. Just think, let's be friends.
If you're going to buy them a drink as well, make sure they take card. Otherwise, you're going to run up the high street like a.
Is there a specific
virgin.
place where, when you go on a first date, is there a specific place that you take someone?
Shag
Not the
Valley.
cinema. Never the cinema.
Never.
Climax Central.
Mini golf bars are pretty good.
What's that?
Mini golf bars are pretty good because you
Not
can
bad.
drink and then beat them and assert your dominance.
Or just shag them and hit them.
That's a good shout.
Jesus Christ!
Where are we in
Is there any place?
Say,
Is there?
What are you into? And then embrace it.
So what sort of thing would they say?
So
what sort of thing?
If he's into Pokemon, start speaking about Pokemon.
Stephen's
Will. Really is.
Yeah, Will.
My thing is get them drunk.
Oh, Will, you dropped your Porsche keyring there. That's embarrassing. Whoops,
Just for the conversation, or conversation flows better when you've got a little bit of confidence. Alcohol gives you that confidence.
We call this confidence.
Get them drunk. Liquid confidence.
Well, yeah, let's take out the sentence. Get them drunk. Let's take that sentence out.
Now you seem like that.
Keep it in.
And it's gone a bit.
I'm just saying, get them drunk.
Believe me, Brian will never be.
Speaking of regrets we've had on the podcast.
You're gagging for a Bacardi.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed to have the last
for a
podcast.
Bacardi, sorry. Not Bacardi.
Well, basically,
I mean, it's
if
a
you're
coastline.
Either way, you get your lips wet.
I think the point is just don't put pressure on yourself, young man. Do you know what I mean?
What would you
That's it.
say is a great opening line? What would you
I'd
say is a
say-
good opening line?
Yes, it's me. That's what I was going
Let's
with.
fuck it up.
You've recognised me. More fool you.
Yeah, and I always go.
I can't get over how orange the palms of Stephen's hands are. Fucking me. Jesus.
I tan quick, honey. These lights do something to me.
Alex, how do you open?
How different is he from when we did
I had a bet in my head
didn't
of
say nothing.
who's going to be more wrecked, Stephen or Alex?
Alex took it like a fucking
Chump.
chump. To be fair.
Trying very hard.
Fucking Steve Austin here in the corner.
Paul Gascoigne.
Tries 316.
I've got a semi-final in 10 minutes.
Stephen.
Oh no.
Can I just say, you're my favourite person of 2018. Like, I'm going to revise that answer now.
Fuck off, Tyson
Stone
Fury.
Cold Steve tries.
There's a new alky in town.
Cheers, Stephen. Let's have it.
Let's move on. Next problem. Dosser, next problem.
Pop in the question. I've been dating this girl for 3 months now. I'm wondering when I should pop the question. No, not
Is
the marriage question.
Anal.
No.
Question mark.
No, not the marriage question. The want to have sex question. She hasn't
That's not a
slept.
question. That's not what people go to.
What?
What I say is...
The want
You
to
gotta
have
have
sex
consent.
question.
No, to be fair, it's
11-year-olds don't usually respond either.
I'm fucked after this.
Can we get Dutty in the butty is what I go with. And when she says,
He just
yes,
said,
please.
Dutty in the butty.
That's it, Brian. He's caught on quick. And if she doesn't say yes, then frigid little girl, get in the bin. I'll find another year 11. No, that's too far. That's where we cross the line. That's where we go too far.
He's your little gold mine, isn't he?
When we say gold mine, we mean prison sentence.
I always wanted to play he was on XO. Now I know.
It's the
It's
fact
not for
that
the
The
viewers.
problem is this is the shit that always gets edited out. Finally, we can leave it in.
Yeah, fuck it.
Merry Christmas.
So how old are these people? Just
So these
I know we're
people-
joking.
I'm not
We are
sure.
joking.
Never ask that
They're
back.
We are
definitely of
joking.
age.
That goes against you in court.
This person's. I'm looking forward to Brian's advice due to the fact that he's managed to get women in bed within minutes. Obviously, consent brackets.
I love that. I love how I do like how they've added in obviously consent because
Yeah.
most YouTubers they don't need that.
Yeah, that's
Right,
true.
We're not all your mates, Alex.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Thanks in advance if this gets read.
It does.
Hope you have a good Christmas and New Year.
Yeah,
that's lovely.
It depends. You've got to judge the girl, haven't you? But you have to basically get to know what they want before you meet up with them and make sure that you're like when you're messaging that you're on the same page.
That's
Do you know
it,
what I mean?
yeah.
So that you're not cross wires. Because if you are cross wires, that can come across the wrong way. Do you know what I mean? She might not like that.
You can never go wrong if you.
How do you ask her to fuck you after 3 months?
Summed up the podcast there. What's the question? 20 minutes late.
What are we talking about? I don't actually fucking have a clue.
He wants to fuck this girl. He's been dating her for 3 months.
Well, you just
Yeah.
neck on with her and then hope one thing leads to the other. You don't
That's it,
physically
yeah.
go,
What leads to what though? Does the hand
Shit.
go somewhere or what?
Yeah, fucking
Here's
shag her, innit?
Question, how old were you when you lost your V-plates?
Oh,
16.
Here we go, here we go.
18. 18. I was 18.
Undisclosed.
Yeah.
What is it? Come on, Stephen.
No.
Oh, you pussy.
What's yours?
16.
Right.
16
Yours?
were you?
Yours?
Yeah.
And I'll admit, I shouldn't have done it then.
Wait. I want to know why you shouldn't have done it.
Oh,
That's
mate,
more
I
interesting
just
to me.
wasn't ready, man.
Why
Do
weren't
you know what I
ready?
mean? I'm sitting there
I mean,
like a
mine was-
fucking
mine was
cunt
the
with
Shearer
training
wasn't
wheels
ready.
on, just trying to navigate this girl's
You
body.
seem like you've got problems.
No, but like in my head, I think to myself, I remember just my mind was blown by the whole experience. Like,
Why?
What blind
what-
thing and then the guy driving up.
What? No. I remember.
It was the
do you want to know an
Tesla
honest?
Shaps that
This
threw
is
him.
an honest account
then.
of one of the worst bits about losing my virginity. Usher was on. Shout out 8701 if you
Usher.
like 8701. It was a classic album. But do you know when you leave a song on repeat?
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
this is how bad it was for her. There was a
Not for
moment she
you.
went-
You were having a great time.
No, I wasn't having a great time. So I had a condom on. I could barely fucking feel a thing. But anyway, there was a point where she turns around to me and she goes,
Fisting each other.
"Can we put the next song on?"
Cover that bell
I
and
never thought I'd
Ryan.
see that.
She asked me to put the next song on.
Where were you?
While having
Where were you?
sex.
Where were
He
you?
was in the club. He went, DJ, next song. Next song.
DJ, spin that shit.
Brian went, yeah, absolutely, baby.
Nah, it
DJ,
was.
next one.
It wasn't good, bless her. So I think I should have. The thing is, you just when you're 16, you just want to get it done. Do you know what I mean? You're not bothered about learning what a woman wants. You're not learning about what she likes, having a good time. You're just wanting to fucking get it in, get it done, and that's what I was like. And I wish I'd been a bit more like, all right, how does this thing actually work?
Can
Do
I ask you guys a
You've got
question?
to flick the clip.
Some,
I mean, he's not completely wrong.
Do you reckon? I just want to say one thing about this podcast. It's Christmas Day.
Oh, yeah, Christmas.
Do you reckon? Do you reckon for
I'm
Christmas?
done speaking about nonsense. It's Christmas.
Do you reckon we're getting ads on this podcast?
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit weird.
Big time.
This isn't about ads. This isn't about us.
Curry's
This is about
Boxing
the
Day
people.
special.
Yeah.
This
That's
is about
it.
the people. All right.
I'll tell you what.
Oh, God.
My virginity was sadly lost.
How old? How old were you?
Oh, Brian,
Oh,
don't
be
do
honest, you
that.
prick.
Don't do that.
Be honest.
Aggressive.
This
from the
year, I'm not going to lie, I was a sad wet wipe.
Okay.
And we put on a song. It was a DJ set.
DJ Cammy. All I ever wanted.
I wish. I would have
based on
just
it.
instantly if I heard that. It was a 90-minute set. And we got through the whole thing. I still hadn't come. And I went, this hasn't gone well, has it?
Fair play.
Not a
Fair play.
Not a stallion, just a dodgy cock.
Did you have a condom on?
Yeah.
That's why then.
What, is that your girlfriend now?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
She's watching this at home, going. Thank you, Stephen.
No, but the thing is, though,
Well done.
part of getting better is realising how shit you are.
Yeah.
We all have to have that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Nobody starts off a stallion. Nobody starts off a stallion. all right?
Stephen, I want to brofist you, mate.
Thanks.
What are you?
We had very similar experiences.
That's a year.
So.
What? You 23?
Yep.
right, that makes sense. I mean, that's fine.
That's all right.
No, it's not.
Why not?
No one said it, and then Will was like, I'm the guy that says it.
For the day I got
Right out of him.
We were all too polite.
For the day beyond the year of 17, I was like, oh, this is pathetic,
No,
Stephen.
but-
Each day I'd wake up and go,
No.
you fucking
No, but the thing
virgin.
is,
There's a big difference, right, Stephen? You're a YouTuber, so it's alright if you're a fucking weirdo.
That's it, mate. Yeah.
It's fine.
That's what I said to her as I came eventually. It's okay, though. I get views sometimes. Have you seen How to Be Stormzy? There it is. And we're done.
Yeah, to be fair, you got to end it there. You got to end it there. That's got to be ended.
I'll pop this in the toilet. I will pretend it never happened.
It's not going to get any better.
This is where we end the podcast. This is where we end. Merry Christmas. You've done really well. Thank you very much.
Finally, I cried.
Enjoy your past.
Vesuvius has erupted.
Enjoy your past.
Very good.
And when I say erupted, I mean dribbled.
You've been watching the True Geordie podcast
Merry Christmas,
for
everyone.
Christmas 2018. I hope you've had a good time. Enjoy your sprouts. I'll see you later. Cheers.